Father, it is a good thing to give you thanks. We bless your name. We thank you. We present to you at this time the congregation. We present to you the teacher, Brother O'Shea, Brother Yona, as they join together to teach your words and to read the word. We pray that I may speak to them. Speak to Brother O'Shea today. Speak through him, to him, for him. And we all going to give you all the praise, along with Brother Yona. All the praise and thanks, because your name is worthy to be praised.
Hallelujah.
Take us through the service today. And if there is any spirit that is trying to get in or is in already, we pray that thou may remove it. Anything that should not be among us, remove it. That your words will come out with power, that all will rejoice and give you thanks from the beginning unto the end, because we thank you. We ask all this blessing. In the name of Yeshua we pray. And all God's children everywhere say amen.
Amen.
Amen, amen.
Today's topic is called Kingdoms of the World and the Empire of Darkness. And we're going to look at, from the top down to the bottom, how everything is playing out and where we as a people stand. Okay? This is not to scare anyone, but this is just to keep us informed and prepared, because the Most High has already gotten us, Mishpachah. The salvation and the victory has already happened. We're just playing a part where we have to be faithful, obedient, and patient. Okay? Let the heathens do what the heathens do, and we take care of Israelite business, which is keeping
Hallelujah.
the Torah and loving your brother. Okay? So today's class, we're going to look into how this empire of wickedness and darkness operates from head to toe. All right, the world as we all know it, Mishpachah, is not our world. But we are instructed to be vigilant, wise, and patient, all while occupying our remaining days before our Savior returns. So I remember a long time ago, a brother told me, he says, the world wasn't made for the children of God. When he was talking about the world, he was talking about the system we live in. Because the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So the earth and the world are two different things. This is why when Christianity talks about, for God so loved the world, they're not understanding that the system that this world is operating on is a totally different system.
Mm-hmm.
So the world that we know it, Mishpachah, as we know it, is not designed for us. And we will see how all of that comes into play. Let's look at the book of 1 Peter chapter 5, verses 8. We're going to start there because, let me go back a minute. You see the word vigilant, wise, and patient. Just remember that. We have to be vigilant, wise, and patient. 1 Peter 5 and verse 8.
Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Hallelujah. Now, you remember yesterday after class, we were sitting down having lunch, Rebbe, and we was looking at the lions.
Yes.
And you remember the lions was trying to defend its territory, and how they had some other intruders coming in, and he had to go about and roar to let them know that this is my territory.
Yes.
So if you haven't experienced how a lion sounds up close, Mr. Kai, it is a beautiful sound. I remember when I was working at the zoo some years back as a chef, every morning when I came into work, I would pass the enclosure of the lions, and I would just stand there, and I was always in awe and amazement, because they had this thing that come out and they would make their noise, and I would just sit there and say, wow, this is beautiful. This is so, the sound just makes everyone stop, and you just acknowledge that these beasts that the Most High made are powerful beasts. Okay, so our enemy is compared to that. He says, be sober, meaning it's not talking about the alcohol part, it's talking about your mind. Be sober, because the days we live in, we are distracted by a lot of things. Technology, the affairs of relationships, politics, war, All types of things can distract you. But the Most High is telling Israelites, be sober, pay attention, be vigilant. Because our adversary, which is the devil, he is going around trying to pick us apart and to devour us. Okay? Proverbs 23 and verse 19.
Hear thou, my son, and be wise.
So he's saying to you, Israelite, you are his son. Be wise. Go ahead.
And guide your heart in the way.
Hallelujah. And when I look at the word guide, I was like, okay, why would he put the word guide here? And it makes a whole lot of sense. We're supposed to take advice, to direct our hearts, to lead our hearts. How do we do that? The only way possible, Mishpachah, is by taking the Torah. The words that is written is how we have to stay instructed. Because without these words, we are no different to the heathen.
That's our GPS.
Yes. That is the driving force of our life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the blood in our veins. Okay? The air we breathe is the Torah.
That's right.
That's the way I look at it. Continuing, the word patience now. James 5 and verse 7.
Be patient, therefore, brethren.
Be patient. Because a lot of times we are not patient. We want to take things upon our own selves. This is where the word faith falls into play. Be patient. Continue.
Unto the coming of Yahuwah.
Because he's coming again.
Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain.
And this part was very interesting to me. Although I've read this many times, this one jumped out at me. He's telling us to be patient. Why? Because he's being patient. You know, when you plant a tree, you don't expect to get fruit right away. Some trees take up to 5 years to get fruit.
Yeah.
So the Most High told Yeshua, when it's time to return, I'll send you. Because he told us he don't know when he's returning.
Mm-hmm.
The angels don't know, only the Father knows.
Mm-hmm.
So by this here, he's exercising patience. And one of the signs is looking at the fruit of the tree coming forward. It says, behold, the husbandman. Who's the husbandman? Our Messiah. Waited for the precious fruit of the earth. So he's waiting for the trees, which are us, to bear the fruits of righteousness. And when he see that, now he can say, I have long patiently waited for you. So not only are we supposed to be patient, but he's showing and exercising that patience as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the work at the book of Luke 19 and verse 13.
And he called his 10 servants, and delivered them 10 pounds, and said unto them, Occupy till I come.
Keep doing what you're supposed to do. That word occupy falls into the category of Jeremiah 29, the verses 5 downwards. That we're supposed to build our houses, plant our gardens, have families, okay? Keep the Torah, teach your children, raise up righteous seed. This is the word, or the meaning for the word occupy. And when you look at 10 pounds, it says 1 pound is equivalent, or was equivalent to roughly 100 days' wages. So I found that very interesting. He gave us enough wages that we can sustain. And like we were talking about yesterday, some of us sometimes we sit back and like, well, why can't I have this? Why every time I'm trying to get ahead, something breaks, something happens? Because the Most High may want us in this position. And in this position, he can allow us to operate, to focus, and to function according to how he sees fit.
Like he's slowing us down.
Yeah.
Keeping us grounded, busy.
Because sometimes we say, I just got this built, something broke. I just fixed this, now that over there broke. It's like you can't get ahead because he has us where he wants us to be. We have to be patient, and we have to do what we're supposed to do. If he wanted us to be rich, we would be rich a long time ago. But that time is for a later date, Mishpachah.
That's right.
Okay? So we have to understand everything within its context. We just have to do our part. So when we understand we have to be vigilant, we also have to be patient.
And when he gives us our share of riches, it's not going to be these cheap goods. Low quality stuff that is mixed with all kind of garbage in it. It's going to be high quality. Right? High quality gold and silver.
Best of the best. All right, so the powers that currently control this world all have one major job to do. Can anyone in the chat, okay, in the chat, put your answers, and anyone here can answer. What is that current job that the powers currently have or is doing that they have to do? What job do they have to do right now? Let me see in the chat. The powers that currently control this world, they all have one major job to do. What job is that? Some people say steal, kill, and destroy.
Yeah.
Make war with one another.
As a matter of fact, if you can pull up
me to pull that up?
Drudge report, yeah.
Okay, let me pull this aside a minute.
So you can see, so yesterday we talked about the madman, right? And the lies and everything. And basically the lies speak for itself that these people are crazy.
I didn't get to do the new thing yet, so.
That's okay. But I want you all to see this. Let's open it up for the Mishpachah, right? Just right after the new class. Look at this. Trump vows complete decimation of Iran. We're supposed to be having a peace plan right now, right? A ceasefire. Click on that. So he says, this just goes to show you the madness. Uh-oh. All right. He says, U.S. warships are being reloaded with the best weapons ever made for a complete decimation. See, he says, if the Pakistani talks fail, that's what's going to happen. So they're using this as an opportunity to reload. That's all it was. Okay. You see what it says? All right. You can close it out. Just want to share that with you all. Goes to show that you cannot trust these people at all.
So in the chat you said, let's see what he said. Excuse me. Control the part they're given to control. Okay. Confusion and control. Distractions. Usher in the Antichrist and try to deceive. The job of their father. All these are correct answers, but it comes down to one word. One word, Mishpachah. One word. What word is that? Let's see if anybody can know. You said what, Ima? Death. That's included in that, but that's not the one word. Okay, let's move forward. One word. Fulfill prophecy. Prophecy is the one word. To fulfill prophecy. They have to fulfill a prophecy. Isaiah 55 and verse 11.
So shall my word be.
My words, because the words that the prophet is speaking is not their words, it's Yeshua's words, okay?
My word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void.
So that tells you that the words have to be fulfilled. Continue.
But it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I send it.
So where he sent that word, so he calls, and for example, he called Isaiah the prophet. He said, Isaiah, I call you. I want you to go and tell these people what is going to happen in these last days. Isaiah said, okay. He went and he talked to the people, whether it's his people or the other nations, depending on what word that was at that time. And he had to go out and spoke it out of his mouth. And we have it recorded and written for our learning so we can see that when he spoke those things, today we're seeing these things being fulfilled right before our eyes. Next question I'm going to ask. How many prophets, and I know there are hundreds of prophets, but how many prophets that the Most High sent pertaining to, and this is just a question, this is not something that you have to answer, but how many, just think about it, how many prophets did the Most High sent forth as far as prophecy is concerned in end time prophecy? There was quite a few, right? That he went and he says, tell this to my people. Speak this. We have Isaiah, Ezekiel, you have Daniel, you have John the Revelator, you have Jeremiah. I mean, the list is long. Amos, Obadiah, even Moses, Yeshua himself. that spirit of prophecy was placed upon them so they can prophesy. So when it says, my words, this is the words that the Most High is saying. So these people, Mishpachah, have to fulfill. This is where this class I did couple months back, when I did this class, 6 months ago, something like that. Do y'all remember this class? When they have no choice? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all remember this class. If you haven't seen it, go look at it. When they have no choice. The heathens do not have a choice. The spirits demand, and they themselves have to do. Because we just read the Most High says, when I speak, my words do not go out void.
Return void.
Return void. It will accomplish what I tell it to and where I sent it. Revelations 12:12.
Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you.
So Satan is come down unto you.
Having great wrath.
He's pissed off.
Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
And that's the key. Because of a short time, they know they don't have a choice. They have to fulfill the prophecy. So as we're going through today's lesson, we're going to see how all this plays in. So today, we're going to look at a brief breakdown of the power structure of the kingdoms of this world to understand what we are all up against. Now, a lot of us have some of this information from years back, but as the days are coming closer, a lot of things are fulfilling, and there's a lot of updates within these prophecies and things that we have learned about over the years. Remember, if we are not careful, okay, if we are not prudent or studied, some or even many will be deceived like Eve. And what is the cause of deception? What is the cause of deception? Anybody in the chat tell me, or in the room here, tell me. What causes deception? One word. Ema? Not paying attention? What causes deception? Unbelief, lies. That's correct, Sister Natasha. Disobedience. Disobedience is what causes this deception. Because when you disobey, now you will be deceived. If you're not going to follow the Torah, you will end up being deceived. This is how Eve was deceived. Because the Most High give the structure to happen for her to listen to Adam. She didn't listen. She went and do her own thing. Deception happened. This is what happens with us. In the last days, when it says, even the elect, if it were possible, because when you don't follow the Torah, you have the opportunity of being what? Deceived.
That's a good point that you made there. Very good point. Because this is why we have been taking the time to advise our people to stay away from being too wrapped up into the affairs of this world. Because that's what Yeshua talked about, that the seed that fell upon good ground, it grew. And those that had the weeds or whatever, it's the affairs of the world that causes not to function and to produce. You see, when you're doing farming, right? And what he was talking about is basically agrarian life. When you're farming, you got to dig up the roots of everything, all the competition around. You got to take that up. Till the ground. And then you got to make sure that it's safe to put down the seeds that you want to grow.
Now pause a minute, not to lose your thought. Is tilling an easy thing to do?
No.
Okay, that's all I want to ask.
It's not easy. It's a lot of work. But the point is that you want to eliminate anything that's going to rob your intentions, rob you of what you're trying to achieve, right? And so when we don't, this is why he told Israel, when you come into the land, you got to rip up all those other competitions, because if they are around you, their roots is going to sap your energy. Their roots is going to rob you of your joy. And eventually you'll be weak. And so a lot of times when we are planting our gardens and we don't take up certain things, as I'm always reminded, you got to go take up those roots. You got to take up those roots. You know, trees will extend their roots for long meters, right? And so you got to take them up. Otherwise, they're going to mess you up. So how does that apply today? Well, if we have a lot of things in our lives, intermingle into our lives, it will sap us from being attentive, from receiving the Torah, from being faithful to the Most High, so that now, as you said, we'll be deceived. It'll be easy for us to be deceived.
And I was going through a video, editing a video, and the video, and I'm gonna play some of the video here shortly, and I edit it where you don't see the person who's talking, and only pick out the important part I need, because the rest of the video, it was full of deception, and I was saying to myself,
Yes, they do it all the time.
they start off with the truth,
Yeah.
and if you're not paying attention, you can be like, oh wow,
Yeah,
Satan is my savior.
yeah.
You can't make this stuff up, Mishpachah. These people know exactly how to deceive. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you will be deceived. This is why we have to stay studied. And we're going to see.
Focus.
That's right.
That's right.
So Ezekiel 12 and verse 18. Let's start there.
Son of man, eat your bread with quaking,
Uh-huh.
and drink your water with trembling and with carefulness.
This is very important. We have to be like soldiers because we are in a war, a spiritual war. This is why when Gideon was looking for his soldiers, he says, when you go down to drink water, let me see how you drink water.
That's right.
Are you going to have your head down, not paying attention of your surroundings, or are you going to pay attention while you lap that water? And those who didn't pay attention, they got sent home. Because if we are not aware of our surroundings, we will be taken out. We will get got, as they would say.
Get got, okay.
And our families will also suffer the same losses because we are all connected. And when one person go down, it affects the next side. Okay, so we have to be very careful when we're eating our bread, when we're who we're sharing our bread with, who we're breaking bread and drinking water with, all these different things. Okay, Proverbs 22 and verse 3.
A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished.
This is one of the verses that always stood out to me when I was growing up, because a lot of times you have people that with your peers in church, friends at school, and they would always tell you, man, you always watching stuff and always worrying about this. I'm not worrying. You have to pay attention and you have to be aware of things that are going on, because if you don't, you're going to be passed on and become punished. Oh, you always talking about the end time stuff because that's what I was instructed to. Yeshua says, do what?
It's our Creator told us to pay
Look,
attention.
pay attention that you will not be deceived.
So if you're so imagine that you have you buy a brand new BMW, brand new. As a matter of fact, you ordered straight from Germany and they delivered to you, and you got the manufacturer doesn't include well. Be careful with when you're driving on the road. The manufacturer says to us, safety first. I mean, it tells us that what we got to look out for, what you got to be careful for, right? To protect your paint, protect your windshield, certain things. If you let your car stay parked under a tree, and then all of a sudden you see clumps of doo-doo on top of that thing, don't be surprised if that thing burns right through your paint.
The acid, messes up your paint.
Right? And eventually it starts to corrode and your car will be compromised. So if your manufacturer is telling you to look out for these things that we would say is vanity, what about our Creator?
Yeah. And if you notice, the first thing Yeshua said to the disciples, first thing he said, Matthew 24 and verse 4, read that for me.
It says, and Yeshua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you.
That's the first thing came out of his mouth. Before he went down the list of things that are supposed to occur. Why is this important? Because deception is how the enemy works. He moves in deception, in the shadows. He moves amongst the gray areas. It appears to be truth, and before you know it, you're stuck in quicksand.
You know that runs parallel with the Garden of Eden?
Yes.
Many will come in my name.
Yes.
That's the Satan
Same
coming and
thing.
says, yeah, God said it. Because he's speaking for God, telling you to do something else.
So a prudent person, Mishpachah, is a person that have their head on a swivel, that is looking around and is trying to figure out what is going on. Like the animals out there, the Most High give them the instinct.
Yeah.
They just don't sit there and just eat grass and don't know what's going on. The minute they smell a little wind or sound, they're all looking to see who is coming. Because if that was the case, it'd be easy pickings. You just walk up to the animal, hey,
Let's grab it.
and grab it.
Yeah.
You got to watch, Elder. 2 Timothy 2 and verse 15.
It says, study to show yourself approved unto Elohim, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly divided the word of truth.
Now, before I get to the study part, why would you, as an Israelite, be ashamed of what you're supposed to be studying about? Why are you ashamed to wear the fringes, the beard? Why are you ashamed to be called a Israelite? Why are you ashamed to serve the Most High, to keep the correct Shabbat days? Why are you ashamed of the truth? Because of all the distractions that we see out there. We are not studying to show ourselves approved. When you, and this is for everyone individually, you know what you are strong in. You know what you enjoy and what your strongest things are. Some of us are mechanics. Some of us are carpenters, good bakers, seamstress, good with literature, music, whatever that you are strong in. Put that into the same perspective.
But some of us are good at pointing fingers at other people.
Pointing the fingers, blaming. But the focus, Mishpachah, is to understand that we are supposed to be studying in the Word, so when it's time to know the deception, we can rightly divide the word of truth
Hallelujah.
from the word of deception.
That's right.
Okay? Matthew 24 and verse 24.
For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
This is where I was going, Mishpachah, because if we are not careful, if we're not prudent, and if we don't study, we can be deceived. Remember, Eve was in the garden. There was no sin on earth. There was no crime. It was the perfect environment. Temperature was beautiful. Food had no diseases or nothing in it. Okay? Animals were your best friends. It was a perfect world. And she got deceived because she wasn't paying attention. She was being disobedient. And this is what happens to all of us. We don't pay attention, we become disobedient. And we now are deceived. You want to say something?
That's why we are suffering today. Even the very ground don't want to bring food for us to
Part of that curse.
because this was from the beginning, and it continue up to this day, and it is only by the mercies of Elohim that we are getting something from that to feed ourselves. All
You know, Elder, when you mention about even the ground, we all came from the earth. We are Adam, right? The earth is Adam also, earth, right? And when you mention about the tilling of the soil,
Yeah.
and Ella mentioned about it doesn't want to yield, we actually are beating the ground. Beating the ground.
Yeah.
Discipline the ground. Beating that ground because the ground is stubborn. Beating the ground, right? That's us. It's like we have to be corrected to produce anything. That's why that word workman, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. It means that we gotta put the work in, family. We gotta self-correct. We gotta beat our own self. Not like the Catholic Church that flog yourself with a whip, but we have to use the word to correct us. And don't be offended when the word corrects us from a different place
Yes.
either, because it's needful.
Yes, correction is part of the process. No one is perfect by themselves. We are only perfect through the word. So when one of us makes a mistake, expect one of us to correct that person.
That's
We
right.
shouldn't be offended because your brother, sister is telling you that you did something wrong. Be humble about it, because you may feel some way, and I could talk about myself. Many times I felt some way, but guess what? I have to humble myself, because that is the way it's supposed to be. With the law comes the judgment. It's both. You can't separate the two. And that's part of the growth. Trimming. When you trimming a plant and you tilling the ground, that's the judgment part of it. So the plant can grow. Yes, Elder.
Yeah, as you mentioned, is the word that making us. We cannot make ourselves. If the word of Elohim is not in us to build us up, to help us to grow, we will not grow. That's why we have to study. Have to study the word. We have to apply the word in our life, in our hearts, and we have to live it. You cannot just hear it and it go through one ear and pass through the other one. You have to do.
Yes. Correct, Elder.
This is Pinky and the Brain. Take over the world. Because when you watch this, how many of you have seen this cartoon before? This is the whole concept of this cartoon. They are trying to take over the world. That's all they're trying to do. So this is just the beginning of their wicked plans, Mr. Ka, that they have been planning since the fall of mankind, the fall of the angels. They have been planning this all along. So we are going to take a look at the hierarchy of their evil kingdom. So sit back. Today's class is going to be very interesting. Okay. All right. So this is what you call a pyramid. And if you notice, the devil operates in a pyramid form all the time, from head to toe. This is why you say, pyramid scheme. The word scheme comes behind the word pyramid, because at the bottom you're not making no money. The person at the top makes all the money, and you're out there being fooled and bamboozled. Sell this product. I remember this company came through trying to sell lotions and stuff, and they want to call you diamond, and they want to give you all kinds of stuff, and you sign up. Yeah, it looks good, and they give you a little package
That was like in the 90s or something.
late
right?
90s, early 2000s.
They had a lot of pyramid schemes.
A lot of stuff going out there, and you're like, yeah, I could sell these creams and perfumes and lotions or whatever it is, and make money. If I sell these two and invite this two to the meeting, I get extra $100. And you're doing all this hard work, and before you look around, you only make $100.
You did that too, brother?
Or sell a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
All kinds of stupidness.
80s.
Amway, Nutrisystem. There's a whole lot of companies out there. Pyramid scheme. This is how the devil operates, via pyramids. So from the head to the bottom. So look at this. You have the word God, and the word God is a title. So don't get it confused with our Elohim. It just means a power or a title, and it's in small g, referring to the way how the world sees it. Okay. Then you have the religious order. This is what falls next in line. The royal families, the secret societies, the governments, corporations, Hollywood agents, world media, and we the people. Today we're only going to cover the first four, because there's a lot of information. And next time we'll cover the last four. Okay, this is why I split it in two, and we'll see why. All right, let's begin. The word God. 2 Corinthians 4:4. We're going to see what God they're referring to.
In whom the God of this world, have blinded the minds of them which believe not.
The God of this world. Remember when I started, I said the world is not made for us. I was referring again to the system, because the earth is Yahuwah's, and the fullness thereof.
Hallelujah.
But the world belongs to Hashatan, Satan and his dominion, for a time and for a season. So right now, currently, the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not in the one true Elohim. Revelations 12 and verse 9.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
Now this is very interesting, because the Bible itself, like I always tell everyone, it is part of a beautiful script that the Most High has put together. And you have the actors, the actresses, you have the hero, the villain, you have the damsel in distress. You have all of these roles that they have to play. And this particular character, which is the villain, he comes in many forms. One of his names, Great Dragon, Old Serpent, because he was in the garden, the devil, and Satan. And we're going to look at some more names later on too. But he's the one that does what? Deceiveth the whole world. How is he deceiving? Because the world did not receive the Torah. Remember, the Torah was only given to those who have the covenant. To Jacob and to Israel. That's what it says. Psalms tells you about that. He giveth his word unto Jacob and his word to Israel. He has not dealt so with any other nation. And there are many other places that we can see that. So when it comes to the word S-I-N, it only applies to Torah-keeping people. Go ahead.
You know, Satan introduced covetousness into the world, that you should not be satisfied with your position that the Most High has given you, that you should have more. And that spirit of covetousness, we see that in other forms. This is why the Bible says the God of this world have blinded the minds. And the question is, how are people's minds blinded? How does it come? What form does it take to blind people's minds? And when you look at the spirit of covetousness, that vanity that is moved throughout the world, that this is why these nations are fighting. It's like you're never satisfied with the basic things of life. You're always, this carrot is always dangling in front of your face, to make you feel like I need to go get this, that. Remember the story with the dog with the two bones? Like he had one in his mouth.
And you look at the other one.
And he couldn't rest seeing that there was another dog with this thing. It's like, so Satan has put this thing in our mind to be always chasing, and we get old and we die.
Chasing the bag.
Chasing after all of these things. And some newer car is out. Some newer this is out. If Apple drops a new phone tonight, Hebrews already pre-ordering. Not even ordering, pre-ordering.
If I can go back to the first phone I had, I would love it.
Pre-ordering.
It was just fine to me.
So what is the purpose of the phone? You're supposed to be able to talk to you, communicate, and that's it. But no, we want to have this. And
all part of the deception. All part of the deception.
Elder, what's on your mind?
Very short. He began his thing is, Satan started in the garden with Mother Eve. And it continues up to today.
Yep.
So we need to drop these things, family. We need to put this thing away completely from our life.
Well, and the only way to do that, Elder, is for us to learn satisfaction. Be content. Satisfaction. You know what I mean? Like, I prefer to have some quality shoes, right? Back in the old days, what we would do, we would take it to the shoemaker. When the sole was worn off, and he would put on a new sole, and he would polish it up and fix it up, and we're good. Your suit has a rip or whatever, take it back to the tailor, fix it up, and no, not now. These days, we don't do that anymore.
Just order Amazon. And Mishpachah, the devil understands the 5 senses. 5 senses. And he used that in the garden. How beautiful that fruit looked. All of a sudden, that fruit was there for a long time. All of a sudden, it looked beautiful that one day. He knows how to deceive and to distract, okay? So Satan, which deceiveth the whole world, that's the blinding of the minds, was cast out onto the earth. And when he was cast onto the earth, he created this world, the system that we operate in,
That's right.
to function on his behalf to fulfill the prophecies that we are seeing today, okay? Ephesians 6 and verse 12.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood,
Spiritual stuff,
but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
So that ruler of darkness is the God of this world. And the spiritual wickedness in high places, we're going to see that. Go ahead.
Now, you have three beautiful verses of in the Bible here, right? And you got blinded the minds. So when you're blind, in many cases you're feeling for something, but if you have an understanding of what you need to put your hands on, you will be able to identify that which is good,
Yeah.
and that which is evil.
Right.
When you're deceived, it's as if you're blind.
Yeah.
Right? Again, you need to have the Torah to tell you to differentiate between what is healthy, what is not. Right? The rulers of the darkness of this world. So when you're wrestling, something is trying to hold you in a certain way. So you can't breathe, you can't move, you can't do anything. That thing is holding you. You know how wrestling is already. Right? When a wrestler, when you got someone about 400 pounds is on top of you and you can't move.
Stuck.
They're going to give you a necktie.
A necktie. What's that, Elder? Come on, Elder. Tell us. What's a necktie? I don't even know about that. What else? A headlock?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Elder.
Tie up.
So Sister Dawn, he says,
I'm
Brother
tired.
O'Shea is the only them Israelites who's unbelief. So we're referring to the minds being blinded. This is both Israelites and non-Israelites. And the case of the Israelites, those are the ones who either refuse to keep Torah or have not taken the time out to want to learn Torah. Because there are stages and levels to that. You have people who would hear the word, like the sower, and the word is there, but their heart is not into it. And then they'll get comfortable and go back to what's comfortable for them. And then you have those who really are tired of the grind and the rat race and the rat wheel.
They just give
And
in.
they say, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm going to serve the Most High no matter what. So when it comes to the minds who are being blinded, it's a vast net that the enemy has it on his people and the Most High's people that refuse or that are asleep. This is where when we wake up and we start to learn Torah, this is why I showed earlier, you have to be vigilant, you have to be careful, you have to strive, you have to study. These are things that you have to do in order so you won't be caught up in this net. All right, let's move on. So the devil, our adversary, has many, many names and titles. These are just a few since creation recorded throughout each culture. So when you go through each culture, everybody has a name, but this is a few. He is known as Lucifer, the great red dragon, the fallen, Satan, the morning star, the old serpent, father of lies and flies, Beelzebub, prince of this world, Mastema, the tempter, Baal, and much, much more. These are just a few. There are so many names he fall under. And then you have his lieutenants, his generals and his lieutenants that fall under him too, that sometimes may play a role as this too, okay? So let's look at Isaiah 14 and verse 12. Before you read that, let's look at the screen a minute. There's a picture in the middle that says, angel has fallen. And when I saw that, I was very, very interested about it. I was like, these people do a lot of things in plain sight and you don't catch it until later on. And this is one of the ways all of this trickles down, this pyramid scheme. You can see the government in the picture, and then you see the military might with this guy here. And it goes down from the hierarchy of the fallen angels all the way down to how society operates within this world system. Okay?
So the question is, which angel?
Which angel?
So the president is symbolic as an angel, I guess.
Because they get the information, and we're going to see that. Is Isaiah 14 and verse 12.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
So we know that somebody fell. This is Isaiah prophesying that the Most High revealed it to him. When we go to the book of Enoch, it was also revealed to him. Moses had some of the same revelation. John the Revelator had some of the same information. So it's here a little, there a little, line upon line. These are witnesses that have witnessed who have fallen. Ezekiel have witnessed some of it too. Go ahead, continue. How have thou fallen?
Son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
So he was cut down to the ground. That is the position he took as a serpent. Okay? Now, we're going to see who the fallen is. We're going to watch some videos. When you see a little green dot like this, that's the first video we're going to play. Okay? There's dots up on the screen, so you'll know a video is coming. Okay? Over here to the right, there's something called the Palace of Peace. How many of y'all heard of the Palace of Peace? Put a 1 in the chat or raise your hand in here. How many of you heard of the Palace of Peace? No?
We got a 1.
Okay, let's see. Palace of Peace. Okay, we're going to take a look at that. Read that for me.
The Palace of Peace and Reconciliation in Astana, Kazakhstan, is a 62-meter high pyramid featuring a top-level circular hall with 200 seats, designed by Foster and Partners and completed in 2006. This, quote, cradle, unquote, hall hosts the triennial Congress of Leaders of the world and traditional religions, symbolizing international and religious unity.
Now, where in the scripture does the Bible says create a triangle pyramid building to hold a religious ceremony or to occupy to serve the Most High? Where can we find that? So we automatically cross out this has nothing to do with righteousness, because there's no instruction on that. Even in building the temple, the design is totally different. There's no instruction that the Most High told Aaron and the priests, or Solomon later on with the priests, how to build a pyramid. We don't find it. So we know that automatically crosses off righteousness. Now, what is interested in this is 200 seats. Now, I didn't put in the slide here. I was going to put this, but I said I'll just mention it. There's a word that people fall on. It's called conspiracy. And to conspire means what? In the chat, what does conspire mean? In here in the room, what does conspire mean?
To plot, to plan.
To plot and plan, right?
Against something.
Okay, to conspire means to plot or plan. Now, what the world, remember when I said the world, remember the world is Satan's system.
Mm-hmm.
What they like to do is put it under the title conspiracy theory. So you would think it's not real. When they are operating right in front of you, they're going to do the hokey pokey Jedi mind trick. This is not real. Don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
This is all a conspiracy theory. But Mishpachah, you cannot make this stuff up. When you look at something and it says, if I'm looking at this thing and it's quacking, quack, 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 and it's waddling, right? And it has web feet, and it has a bill, and it has feathers, 99.99% it's what?
It's a duck.
It's not an ostrich. It's not a chicken. It's not a cow. It's a duck. So they're going to tell you, no, this is not a duck, Brother O'Shea. This is a watermelon.
It's a platypus.
A platypus. That's a good one.
Yeah. There's a bill.
It has a bill. It has web feet. But they don't have feathers and they don't quack. So, Mishpachah, when we are looking through this class today, put those glasses on. Take off the ones that the heathens put on your eyes to fool you and to put you back to sleep. And we're going to examine the facts. Okay? This is not conspiracy theory. This is what they're actually doing right before your eyes.
Yep.
So this place is called the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation. What are they reconciling about?
We're making deals with the devil.
That's a good, making deals with the devil. And if you notice, 200 seats. Okay, we're going to read something here just now. Now, below here, read this for me, roughly
190 to 200 confirmed meteorite impact craters or astroblemies astroblems have been discovered on Earth, with new ones still being found.
That's all we need right there. An astrobleme is called a crater where something has fallen from the sky and landed on Earth. Now, they have shown you movies on this, and we're going to play a video shortly so you can have some better understanding on this. Again, this is not conspiracy theory. This is what has happened and what has been recorded, and they always give you the Jedi mind trick. So let's move on to the next slide. So actually, let's play the video first. Let me pull this to the side, and let's get the first video. All right, fair use, fair use.
Hey, do you know that the class we did yesterday, they blocked it in many countries? Yeah, they blocked it. Yep. They blocked it in many, they blocked it in many countries. Oh, yeah.
Hey, that's that, because whatever you're bringing out, the truth, that's what happens. All right, Mr. Picard, let's watch this video. It's 3 minutes long. Gods of this world, the number 200, that's the question.
The Palace of Peace and Accord, also known as the Pyramid of Peace and Accord, is a stunning and unique building located in Nur-Sultan, Kazakhstan's capital. Reaching a height of 77 meters, the structure is made up of 5 stories of triangles. The pyramid was specially constructed to host the Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions.
So I'm going to pause it a minute. It was designed to hold the Congress of Leaders when it deals with religion. So they're making a place so they can have that connection to the spirit realm. Okay?
Now, it goes to show that religion or spiritualism, I would say, is very important even to the elite.
Yes.
Why would you spend so much money to build such a place dedicated for religion, right? And use the best in architecture and so forth. But they want to tell you not to keep the Most High's commandments, which is something spiritual.
Yep.
When you mention it, they block you.
They block you, yep.
The pyramid provides accommodations for delegations of many world religions. In addition to the conference chamber where the Congress is held, the 5-story building also houses an opera hall, the Museum of Natural History, the Research Center of World Religions, the Library of Spiritual Religious Literature, and exhibition and conference rooms. The building was conceived as a global center for religious understanding, the renunciation of violence, and the promotion of faith and human equality. Here, 200 delegates from the world's largest religions and faiths gather every 3 years in a circular chamber.
Here, 200 delegates from the world's largest religions and faiths gather every 3 years in a...
I'll pause it. Let me ask in the chat because we're going to go through it. Why did they choose to have 200 seats? Anybody in here can answer to. What do y'all think? Why do you think 200 seats?
Same thing with the 200 meteors that hit the earth, which may be fallen angels.
That's
right. They're making a room for, these angels. They want to tap into these angels. That's all it is.
We're going to see. We're going to see.
circular chamber.
Right now, about 200 craters and or astroblems that have been discovered. Now, an astrobleme is an impact scar, but it's usually buried beneath the surface. It's called, literally translates as star wound.
Star wound. We're going to see how stars are connected to these fallen angels, okay?
Translates as star wound.
Well, like I said, there's about 200 craters and astroblems that have been identified on Earth.
The book of Enoch, it says there were 200 angels that fell from heaven.
We're going to read that just
It's
now.
a city called Astana, which, if you rearrange the letters, says the word Satan.
Look at that. The word Astana, when you rearrange the letters, it says Satan. I mean, this is not
Yeah,
conspiracy.
yeah.
You don't make this stuff up, Mr. McCall.
And this is the picture of the place?
That's a picture of the place.
So why does the place look like a capital, like the Vatican, the capital, and capitals are pretty much all over the world. Where every state and many countries have the same design with that Roman Esau, you know what I mean, Mount Seir design with the pillars and all that stuff. And the Babylonian Tower, Babel. Yeah. Uh-huh.
In this city, which is in Kazakhstan, there is a pyramid called.
And if you look at this pyramid, it's the same Ashkenazim Star of David. The seven. The if you look at the way it's set up, that's exactly what it is. If you want to draw, you can see
this right here. This
the point right there.
Right there. One, and then you got the star come here too.
Yep, it's the same Star of David, so-called David.
Pyramid of Peace, and at the very top of this pyramid, there is a gathering hall for members of all the religious groups around the world, and there is exactly 200 seats. That's what it says.
200 seats.
It says there's 200 known craters on Earth. So there's around 190 to 200 known craters on Earth, and 200 fallen angels from heaven.
Now, is this something fiction or what?
Of course.
The Bible say this happened. You look at it. 200 angels fell, right? According to what is written.
Book of Enoch, yeah.
You have 200 craters, and then these people make 200 seats.
And they're not making a building for transportation, or the building of agriculture, or the building of fine art, or the building of whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's a building for religious and spirituality.
That's right. See how big these craters are? Even Arizona had the big craters that you drive through. Does it show you the craters?
Does it say when these craters were formed?
It just says long time ago. They don't really give any numbers.
They're not telling us
They
exactly
can
how
tell
long
you.
ago, huh?
No. So, Mr. Picard, that's the first video. The first video, okay? So the fallen. All right? Now let's look at the next slide here. Enoch 3 and verses 5.
Then swear they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it.
So these are the fallen angels that came down. When we read Genesis 6 and they talk about the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of man, this is what this is referring to here. Continue.
And they were in all 200.
So 200, okay.
Who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it.
Matthew 4 and verse 8.
Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceedingly high mountain and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them.
This is the highest mountain in that area that they went to. Mount Hermon, read the highlighted part.
Known as the highest point in Israel and the Levant.
So when we see this mountain here, this is where these angels came down upon to do this connection.
Have a meeting.
And this is where the UN, Mishpachah, have their place. I forget what the hotel is called, but it's a well guarded place that no one can go to.
In Mount Hermon.
Mount Hermon.
Let's find that.
Okay. All right. Have you ever wondered why stars are always associated with angels? That's the question. Have you all ever wondered why, when it comes to the angels, there's something called stars? Or why the stars, they always have these star symbols showing? Okay, well, the Bible shows us many examples, and we see also the symbolism of stars today connected to many fallen angels. Now, before I get into reading, look at these pictures right here. These are a variety of stars that are connected to various of the angels. A lot of us have seen some. Some of you may not have seen some. Well, this one over here, under the Matthew 2 and 2, this is an 11-point star. This is known as a star of war. And this is what the Statue of Liberty sits on. And we're going to talk about that day in a little while, okay? Now, let me start with the book of Joshua 8 and verse 2. Let me go there first. Joshua 8 and verses 2. Okay, let's open it up. Come on. Let's make it bigger. Okay, Joshua 8 and verses 2.
And when all the wise men and conjurers went out from the house of Terah, they lifted up their eyes toward heaven that night to look at the stars.
So they're looking at a star for a sign. Okay, continue.
And they saw, and behold, one very large star came from the east and ran in the heavens.
So a star is not going to be running in the heavens. These are angelic beings that are operating, because when you go back to the book of Jubilees, I think I have it here too, it tells you that the Most High put in control of the luminaries, elements, and various things on earth in the control of the angels to perform. One is controlling the east wind, one is controlling the west wind, and so forth. One is controlling the sunlight, one is controlling the rain, and so forth. This is why when it comes to weather warlocks, as we talked about in previous classes, the information that these people are getting from these fallen angels know exactly how to manipulate and how to master and trigger certain things. Okay? Finish read that.
And he swallowed up the 4 stars from the 4 sides of the heavens.
So what star is going to swallow a star? This is telling you that this is angelic beings that are operating at this level. This is just one. Let me pull this to the side a minute. Let's look at another one. Let's look at the book of Matthew, chapter 2 and verses 2, to get another example of the same thing that happened to Abraham, happened to the Messiah. Go ahead, verses 2.
Saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him.
An angel of the Most High was over where the Messiah as a babe was to be born. And this is what this angel was assigned to do, light the whole area as a sign so they will know where the child is going to be born.
Yep, that was an angel.
That's all it was. Here's another example. I'm going to give you plenty because there's a lot in the Bible. You just have to do your homework. Revelations chapter 9 and verses 1. So we will know that when we see the word star, we can connect it to the word angel. Revelations 9 and verses 1.
And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven onto the earth.
So a star fell from heaven to the earth. Go ahead.
And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit.
So this angel is also known as a star. A key was given to him. This is another example. Let's look at another one. Revelations chapter 1 and verses 20. 1 and verses 20.
The mystery of the 7 stars which you saw in my right hand, and the 7 golden candlesticks. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches.
That's all we need. 7 stars are the 7 angels. So do you see the pattern that is unfolding, Mishpachah? We see the pattern, right? Okay, let's go back over here. So Revelations 12 and verse 4.
And his tail,
talking about the devil,
drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman,
which is Israel,
which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her as soon as it was born. Devour her child as soon as it was born.
This is a prophecy pertaining back to the Messiah. When we read in Matthew 2:2, it also links back to Moses and to Abraham also. Okay? He always tried to destroy the seed from these prophecies being fulfilled. So the devil, which was known as Lucifer, which is known as Satan, which is known as the great red dragon, his tail, his influence, took a third part of the angels with him on earth. Okay, we're going to see a video now, interesting video I put together, because they show you these things in the movies, but you never pay attention to what they show you. All right, fair use, fair use. This is video number 2. This video is called The Fallen. Is everyone doing okay so far?
Hallelujah. All praises.
All right, all praises. All right, let's watch this one here. The Fallen.
You have much to learn by this
Now, this is from the movie Transformers. Listen carefully.
disciple. The cube was merely a vessel. Its power, its knowledge can never be destroyed. It can only transform. How is possible? It has been absorbed by the human child. The key to saving our race now lies within his mind.
I'm going to pause it a minute because what they're illustrating right here or reenacting is the part with the Messiah. When you talk about the child, and they talk about being in his mind, and they're talking about all these different things, watch how they cleverly, crafty put these words in place, okay?
Then let me strip the very flesh from his body. And you will, my apprentice. In time, for millennia, I have dreamed of my return to that wretched planet where I too was once betrayed.
So the Messiah was betrayed, right? He wants to return. He wants to go back to heaven. This is where the Tower of Babel comes from, going back up. This is why his children, who are the heathen nations that operate under him, always want to fly to space.
They always want to go back to heaven.
That's Christianity.
Christianity, yep.
All they teach. Heaven.
Because Satan has put...
They tell you, well, brother and sister so-and-so. Brother and sister so-and-so, they go up to heaven. Right, right there on the earth, everybody standing around and the preacher telling you.
That's right.
My sister is in heaven.
Looking down.
Looking down at you. The movies.
If I'm in heaven, I ain't looking on the earth no more.
In movies, they tell you the same thing. And they're teaching the children, the little children, the same thing in videos, in different things.
So much because they tell us in the movies. Let's continue and watch.
By the primes I call my brothers. Revenge is mine.
So Yeshua said revenge is his. So it's a play. It's a play. The devil is trying to play like the Messiah. He was deceived by his brothers. That's what he said. Same thing happened to the Messiah, right? Okay, and revenge is Yahuwah's. That's what the Bible says, right? So he's trying to act like the Messiah. Let's continue and watch.
Citizens of the human eye, your leaders have withheld the truth.
Your leaders have withheld the truth. Now, remember back in the day they used to tell you about Area 51? Y'all remember that, right? Area 51? Yeah? In the chat? Yes? Okay, good.
You are not alone in this universe.
We are not
We have
alone.
lived among you, hidden.
We have lived among you hidden. Who have lived among us hidden? Okay?
The Bible actually talks about a realm beyond our realm with intelligent beings that can operate in our realm. And what we see in the Bible, these angels can appear in whatever form they wish. So this is not a new phenomena. I think what's new is the way they appear. And so that's when I began to realize maybe there's a connection between the fallen angels and what we see in the UFO phenomenon.
Pause it a minute. Yes, unidentified flying object. Yes, it links to all of that. This is why they have created something called the Space Force. Okay? Force, the word force means a power. And the space, what space are they occupying? Remember we read in Ephesians, wickedness in high places. Okay? It all plays out, Mishpachah. Just watch. Now, this is an AI-generated video that I found. I chopped it up. It's really good. I like how they did it. But I cut the pieces out that needed for this video, okay? This is Lucifer here.
You were the signet of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was your covering, and on the holy mountain of God you walked. You were blameless in your ways, from the day you were created, till unrighteousness was found in you. Your heart was proud because of your beauty. You corrupted your wisdom for the sake of your splendor. You said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit on the mount of assembly. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I will make myself like the Most High. You were filled with violence, so I cast you as a profane thing from the mountain of God. And I destroyed you, O guardian cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. I threw you to the ground. I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. The great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the world. He was thrown down to earth.
There goes the fallen
And
stars,
his angels were thrown down with him.
the creators in the earth. AI did a job, huh?
AI. Hey, I was just doing a little research on the name Astana.
Mm-hmm.
And the word Astana, according to them, means capital. And then the word capital goes back to supreme, it goes back to Jupiter, the place of Jupiter. And Jupiter is the supreme sky god, right? So it goes back into Satan. That's what it goes back to when you follow the breadcrumbs. Right back to Satan.
What y'all think about that video, Mishpachah? It was a good illustration. So, Mishpachah, when you see the word stars, this is why, and when we're going to part 2 next time about the Hollywood part side of it, these are your idols, these are your stars. The angels want to be worshipped. And this is where Hollywood gets their praise and their power from. But that's another side of the we're going to talk about later.
And that's what I was calling the people, movie stars.
Movie stars, celebrity stars, and all these different things all the time. We'll talk about that later on. Go ahead. You want to say something quick? Go
Oh,
ahead.
and you know.
No, that's the next class. I have to continue this part.
And you know when they show you that intro for some of the movies, it got some stars that move right around the mountain.
Yep.
Top of the mountain.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the fallen angels, the 200 of them, Now, I believe there's more, but the 200 of them, particularly assigned religiously for these people here. Now there have been many symbols and statues bearing light. We're continuing with the God of this world, okay? But to many, they were all given a different story behind them all. What is the real reason, Mishpachah, behind these light-bearing statues and symbols? That's the question I want to ask. All right, 2 Corinthians 11 and verse 14.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Remember in the movie Transformers, the one that they call the Fallen, he says, we don't we don't go away, we just transform. We just transform. So he is telling you what they do. But what's interesting is he comes as an angel of light when he's an angel of darkness. So when people start to say, oh, the light is beautiful, that's the deception part that we have to be very careful of, okay? Because the word itself is the true light. That means he is going to bring you some of the truth. But behind that some of the truth is nothing but death and destruction. Verses 15.
Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed.
So his fallen angels also are transforming.
As the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works.
This is why our Messiah says, the first thing he says when they ask about the end times, be careful of deception. Many shall come in my name and shall deceive many. Okay? The word Lucifer, what does that mean?
It is translation of the word Hallel. In Isaiah 14:12, it means shining one, light bearer, or morning star.
And that word Hallel also goes back to the god Mithra, which is the sun god, which the Romans worshipped. And this is a picture of it right over to the right. Sun worship, yes. Now let's look at video number 3. It's very interesting. Again, I wanted to have a lot of illustrations so we can see how the fallen, how the 200 seats all tie in when it comes to our lesson today, okay, and the hierarchy. Fair use, the light bearer, Lucifer the light bearer.
Looking out over New York from a staggering 265 feet, the statue is an enduring symbol of freedom. Made from 62,000 pounds of the purest copper, supported by an ingenious metal skeleton, erected atop a mysterious 11-pointed star.
I mentioned about the 11-point star, right? I'll go back and show you it again. But the 11-point star is a star of war, okay? And that 11-point star that he is sitting on is a fort that used to be an actual army fort back in the day when this country was being established. And they had the cannons faced out at the harbor to shoot the cannons out at ships coming in. There it is right there. Read that for me.
The Statue of Liberty's pedestal sits atop the remains of Fort Wood.
That's what it's called, Fort Wood.
Originally one link in a chain of defense protecting New York City and its vital harbor.
That's all we need.
Mysterious 11-pointed star.
There it is right there. Let me go back. It went too fast. Okay, you see how it looks right there? This is what this is here. Over here it says the housing, the essence of the unholiness. That's what I call it. Because there's nothing holy about it. And you see the star of the satanic star in the middle there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Got those words, those letters,
all those Hebrew
English
letters.
and Hebrew, and
that's all part of the Kabbalah
Yeah, Kabbalistic.
and Jewish
And in
witchcraft.
the middle, you got the Jewish
Yeah.
symbol, and you got the
Yeah.
pentagram
in the middle.
Yeah.
1, 2,
And Hebrews
three,
will be looking
4.
at this thing, thinking it's something special, and oh, you see, that's our stuff. All right, I don't remember any place in the scriptures where we were told to follow these things at all.
And anything in a circle is ability to conjure up those demonic powers, to be infestated by these demons, legions.
Yeah.
Okay.
She tramples on the chains of oppression with her enormous feet. Enlightening the planet with her torch, she's one of the world's most recognizable landmarks. But what was the real inspiration for this magnificent statue? Who is this mysterious lady?
Pause it right there. Y'all see how it looks? See that? So on the left, this is a painting, a portrait of Lucifer. Google it for yourself. And to the right over here, when you dig deeper, this is the same picture. It's the same thing. Okay?
Statue of Liberty, symbol of liberty and freedom, is a statue of Lucifer, the light bearer and enemy of God. I'm going to show you the mountains of evidence that the Statue of Liberty is actually...
Now, this is the person I was talking about. This is an actual satanic person
That's
giving this information out. Okay, I'm not going to tell you who it is because I don't want nobody going. If you know, you know, but if you don't know, that's fine. Nails painted here, white, long, into the occult. So he's giving you the information. But while he's giving information, he's going to he also added on other things about Lucifer, which I was just laughing because it's a forked tongue. But not only his source, I have other sources so you can actually see and learn something, okay? So he's saying Lucifer is the light bearer, an enemy of Elohim, okay?
Lucifer, hidden in secret symbolism in the statue itself and its history tied to secret societies and the occult. And finally, I'm going to show you why it has everything to do with the future of the world and you.
The Statue of Liberty actually is a symbol of Lucifer.
The Statue of Liberty was created by Frederick Bartholdi, a member of a secret society, the Freemasons, who are notorious for hiding secrets in plain sight. Let's see. Now, you may have noticed that the Statue of Liberty doesn't look very feminine. If you knew nothing about the statue and I told you it was a man, you'd probably believe me. The fact is, the Statue of Liberty doesn't look male or female. It's androgynous.
The word androgynous means they are trans. This is where and it's very can't make the stuff up. Okay, this is where the trans movement comes from, that same spirit of Lucifer. Okay, and he'll tell you why the rays of light. So before I go on, what does trans and the trans people and their pride flag have anything to do with Lucifer? Anybody in the chat? Anybody here? What does the pride flag? Why did they choose those colors, basically? The rainbow. It's two reasons. One, I'll give you one reason. One was to always rebel against the Most High. Now, that was a blessing from the Most High in a covenant to man that he will never flood the earth again. So the devil took that and he tried to pollute it by instilling it into the pride movement. But what was the other reason? You were saying something? So rebellion is one. That's correct. What's the second one?
My understanding was that in the time we heard when no son, not son, nephew, was in the land of Lot. Not Lot, but help me.
Abraham?
No.
Shem, Ham?
No,
Japheth?
the land that was in. What's the land?
Babylon,
Anyhow,
Chaldea.
No, okay, let me go further, 'cause I forget.
You talking about Sodom and Gomorrah? What are you?
Sodom
and Gomorrah, okay.
Right. Now, the Lord destroyed them because of their wickedness. He said he will put a sign in the heavens that when he look on it, he remember what happened. Now, in my mind, when I look at this and I see it coming to something what you were saying, that these people try to get the signs of the rainbow and use it because the Lord saved the world, so he know that would happen again. That's the way that I'm looking at these today things that with the people of today, because the last, the first one was destroyed, but because the Lord said, I'm going to put a sign so that when I look at it, he will remember, right?
With the rainbow.
Yeah, when you look at the rainbow. And I believe I shouldn't use the word he will remember, because he never forget.
Right.
But they should remember, rather than the Lord remember.
But
People
okay,
should remember.
but that sign wasn't for Sodom. That sign was for us. Whenever it rains, we know to remember the flood. The Sodom thing never had a sign with the rainbow.
Yeah, but
I never recall seeing that. Anyone recall seeing that?
No.
It was a salt pillar that was left as a sign remembrance for
that's for the lady.
right, Lot's wife that turned back. That's the only sign that was left there that we still see today. But as far as the rainbow, that sign was only for the flood. When you read it, it says it will give you a sign.
Yeah, but I don't want to take up the time.
Uh-huh.
But I'm looking at when the angels come to the door, the men were so wicked that they wanted to take part. So if they wanted to have relation, the man said, look, my daughters here, they're young. They never see a man yet. You could take them. You don't want to take them, but you want to go with men. So then it shows you that, to me, that these men we call them anti-men or so on. So then if it's so being, it still remains the same thing that these people do today.
Yes,
Doing
yes.
The same attitude.
Yes, it's connected to a spirit. That spirit is what we're referring to here right now. Yeah. That trans spirit.
One word.
Uh-huh.
If you notice, everything that Elohim do, the devil imitate it, he playing in it.
Yes. So the two-part to it, Mishpachah. The first part is rebellion. The devil took the rainbow, or those beautiful colors the Most High made, as a sign in rebellion against. So he's trying to derogatorize it, okay? The second part is the rays of light that comes from it. We'll see. I'll play it, you'll see. Okay, so androgynous means you're neither male nor female. You look feminine, but you look masculine. That's the play. That's that gray area, the deception, okay? This is why the Statue of Liberty looks this way.
Lucifer is depicted as androgynous, and in some occult literature, Lucifer is described as being both male and female, and sometimes even more feminine. Lucifer is the enlightener, the bearer of light, which liberty clearly bears to the sky. Liberty has a crown with 7 spikes, and this secretly represents the 7
So I'm gonna pause it there. This is why they use the rainbow in the second reason, the spirit of pride. The rays of the light, there are 7 rays when it comes to the spectrum of light. The 7 colors of the rainbow is a form of rebellion. Let me go back a little bit so you can hear it clearly.
Of light, which liberty clearly bears to the sky. Liberty has a crown with 7 spikes, and this secretly represents the 7 colors of the visible light spectrum, the light we can see, the rays of the sun. The official name of the Statue of Liberty is Liberty Enlightening the World, and Liberty was not originally green. It only turned that color over the years because of oxidation. It was originally copper, which shone when struck by the light of the sun. You would have to be blind not to see this is clearly the light bearer. In many depictions of Lucifer, he's in chains, supposedly bound by God. I bet you didn't know that those chains lie broken at Liberty's feet. Lucifer the light bearer has broken free. Thus, Lucifer, the spirit of intellectual enlightenment and freedom of thought, is metaphorically the guiding beacon which helps man to find his way through the rocks and sand banks of life. For Lucifer is the Logos in his highest, the light bearer, the liberator, symbol of freedom, light, and knowledge, was the perfect symbol for America and the ideals it was founded on. We see the Statue of Liberty, arm held high, bearing the light, androgynous and crowned with the 7 rays of the sun, broken chains at their feet, officially called Liberty Enlightening the World, and originally shining bright in copper across the horizon. These are all iconic symbols of Lucifer. You couldn't get more obvious unless you named it Lucifer.
So in all the connections, with the Statue of Liberty and Lucifer. Masonic origins, Freemasons. The cornerstone of the statue has Freemason symbols on it. See it right there. It's on Ellis Island. The nickname of New York is the Big Apple. And there goes an apple right at the bottom of Lucifer's statue.
Again, you can't make this stuff up, okay? Everything is put there for a reason. Nothing is accidental or coincidental. It is put there planned by design.
I sent you a link, if you can pull that up. You know, Trump is building or having a construction set right here. That right there. Trump also have in the works the construction, here it is, of the Trump arch.
This looks just like Constantine's arch.
Yeah, but make it a little bit bigger so we all can see the angel on top of it. It's a Statue of Liberty again, with the same torch in the hand, but it's an angel. It has wings this time, right? Y'all see that? And it's called a Trump arch. So we can see all of these things are coming together, brethren. It's wickedness that the people are putting out. So we saw how the statue of Lucifer has an apple at the foot. The Statue of Liberty has an apple, right? An apple at the foot also?
Yeah, let me put it back so you can see it.
Isn't that something? So that you can see the connections between the two. And in Christianity, the apple has been associated with the Garden of Eden, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there goes the apple right at the bottom. Right at the bottom, see the apple there?
It's actually bitten. It's bitten.
It's bitten too, huh?
Yeah, let me make it bigger so you can see it. See right there, it's bitten right there?
Uh-huh.
So the apple is bitten.
And he got them soft legs.
Yep. Again, he's trans.
Soft legs.
And what's interesting too, the crown, and when it counted out, is the crown to have more crowns on it, but all the others were broken off and only have 7 things that stand, which ties in when we go down to the religious part just now. We're going to see how that ties in where we're going next.
And remember I did a class about the Bible, the New Testament Bible that a lot of Israelites are using, called the Gospel of the Holy 12 or something like that. And in it, it speaks of Jesus as being both male and female. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, as he's male and female.
That's
so
right.
You know that's Satan.
That's right.
And I don't understand why Israelites will be involved in that thing, but you can't tell them anything. They know everything and so forth, and a lot of foolish people are following that way.
Yep. Satan and his fallen angels all puppeteer the elite families and men in power today. This is where we get the famous confederation that I always talk about.
Yeah.
Psalms 83 and verse 5.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against you.
And this picture in the background here is supposed to be the picture of the great red dragon that they have portrayed. So someone was inspired by the demons, and they have drawn this hideous looking beast here. And this is where, if you watch that movie Hannibal, y'all remember that movie? This was also in the background with the guy appearing to be the dragon. Okay, they always tell you things in movies, but again, we take it as entertainment most of the time and not take it as something educational to decipher and to see what they're telling you. All right, so we just finished the God part. Now we're going to go into the religious order of it, okay, to see how it all ties into play. Because you had the 200 seats in that temple that they built for the religious world leaders. One world religion that they have already put together, okay? In order for the deception to actually work, the lie of whom one is serving was perfectly crafted into the culture and a way of life. You see, the devil understood that mankind is a vessel which requires the operation of spirit for functionality to exist. So we need to have a spirit in order for us to live. That's why he breathed into man, and man became a what? Living soul. So Satan is basically a counterfeit or counterfeiting con artist that took this opportunity to deceive the world. Okay? Revelation 17 and verse 4, it says, the woman was arrayed in purple. The woman is pertaining to who, Mishpachah, in the chat? Who is this woman portraying? Let's see who's thinking. In the room here today, who's this woman? Some people says Israel, some people says the whore of Babylon, some people say America. Okay, we'll see. She was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Remember we talked about this woman in time past? Verse 5, read verse 5 for me.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth.
It is the whore that sits on 7. You see that word 7 again pops up there? That ties with the enlightenment of that crown. It all connects, Mishpachah, okay? And why is she a mother? We talked about this in previous classes. She have offspring. All her children are those churches, those demon denominations.
Mm-hmm. Rome, it's the Rome,
okay.
Roman Empire.
This is what this
Roman
is.
Empire. Yeah.
Yeah, demon nations, denominations. Deuteronomy 28 and verses 36.
Yahweh shall bring you and your king, which you shall set over you, unto a nation which neither you nor your fathers have known.
So anybody in our groups, when I say groups, I'm talking about families that are dispersed, because there are always leaders amongst our people. And in this sense, at that time we had a king. We don't have a king today, but we do have leaders. Some of them are not doing a good job. They're being coerced by the heathens to do all kinds of wicked and nasty things. So continue.
And there you shall serve other gods, wood and stone.
Wood and stone. The three largest Abrahamic religions or faiths that trace their origins to the patriarch Abraham. So the world understands, they know where everything comes through, where the contract goes through. And this is where the deception begins. Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. All three have nothing to do with Israel, but they all counterfeit and stole things from us. They borrow things from us and put it in their own fashion, mixing it with a bunch of pagan idolatry and witchcraft. This is how you have a form of godliness. Okay? All roads lead to Rome. This is the book. If you have a chance, check it out. It has some interesting things in it. With every captivity, Mishpachah, came the mixing and adulteration of cultures. This is that cup of abomination that was read in Revelations with the great whore. Cultures and worshiping of false gods. Since the captivity of Rome, the order has been set as we now see it to be today. So exactly what we have seen today is how they have put the things in place to play out. The mother and her many children all share some version of her tainted doctrines, which is paganism and idolatry. So you'll have bits and pieces of things you see in religion. That's why it's called religion. Religion is part of a political movement, or religion is basically the spiritual side of politics. That's all it is the connection. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. See the picture over here? A poison fruit, a dirty apple, which deals with the government. And the tree is supposed to symbolize that root of religion, where it deals in. Read that for me.
Okay, so according to the Theology Pathfinder, practically all major Protestant, Anglican, and Catholic denominations trace their roots back to the Roman Catholic Church.
See, Mishpachah, we're not making this stuff up. We're showing you what is happening out there. And you remember Tony, the guy that died in the motorcycle?
Yeah.
We're going to see it next also. Tony Evans. No, not Tony Evans. Not Tony Evans. We'll see in a minute. I'll remember his name in a minute. But Mishpachah, his job was to bring about the legal side of it to the world.
Yeah, he was the forerunner for the Catholic Church.
The Catholic Church, to bring back the mother with her children. Reunite. Okay? Y'all remember that?
Palmer.
Tony Palmer.
Thank you, Sister Terry.
Yes.
Tony Palmer. Yeah, he was a John the Baptist for the Pope.
Make the way.
Yeah.
Here it is right here. Read that for me.
In 2014, Bishop Tony Palmer brokered a video message from Pope Francis to Kenneth Copeland declaring that the Protestant Reformation protest is over.
So they had a disagreement in religion about, some things, we believe in the spirit this way. No, we believe in this, and back and forth. And then you had this breaking away from the mother, and her offspring went off and created all these different things. So this is the coming home to Rome moment. This is what I call it. Coming home to Rome. All her children coming back. Continue reading.
Palmer, a charismatic bishop, urged unity between Catholics and evangelicals before dying in a motorcycle crash months later.
So he was taken out. Go ahead.
While some celebrated this push for unity, others argue the theological divide remains.
So you're going to have some that push back on it still. But legally, all the churches now are in league. They had to sign that portion in league. Yes, Ima?
Shalom, brethren.
Shalom.
The problem was with the churches is that the Pope said that he is the one that is the one that's supposed to lead it.
Yeah, the vicar.
Word. Yes. And plus, there was the one to translate anything.
Yeah.
But during the time of this man that went up these 100 steps, they decided that people could pray for themselves also, that they can read the Bible. Because in the Catholic Church, you can't read anything.
Yep, you weren't allowed to read.
You wasn't allowed to read or do anything at all except by them giving you permission. So it went on, and at the time when Palmer came in, they said it was 500 years of that situation come to an end because they were negotiating with all the churches to come, because they say the only thing difference is that they're, the only thing different between the churches, because all of them were the same Sunday worship, but the difference is that they could read by themselves and they can have their own pastors so that the Pope would not be the one to dictate for them.
Yeah, there were different types of separation. That was one of them.
Yeah.
Some of them had argued the points of baptism and
Yes.
separated because of that reason. Immersion versus sprinkling. The Pope as being the head, or the Pope as being Christ on earth, representative of Christ on earth. Luther was one
Yes, Luther was the
who,
one that
when he, it was always customary for many of the priests to have a pilgrimage to Rome. When he got to Rome, he saw indulgences, people paying money for prayers, to get people out of purgatory. He saw prostitution. He saw like they were selling the nails of Jesus Christ, like they had so many nails they said they can build, and pieces of the cross, they can build a whole ship out of that. They were selling hair of the Virgin Mary. Her hair was blonde, her hair was red, her hair was black. I mean, all types of different color hair, but it's all from Mary. And so many people, when he saw that on his pilgrimage, he came back and just nailed a thesis on the church, and he rebelled. And that was one of the, reasons for the Reformation. And then you had others like the Anglican Church who wanted to get married, because before, all the kings, if they wanted to get remarried again, the church had to approve the marriages and all that stuff. So you couldn't break away from the church. So they said, you know what? We're going to break away from the church, and that created wars. And we're going to have the bishops of who rebel against the Catholic Church to be in charge. And this is where the Anglican Church, or the Church of England, was formed, where the see your hand, elder, where the king or the queen was the head of the church. So that was just some of the breaking away and created all the stuff. Yes, elder, what's in your mind?
I just want to say, we saw that video, and I say, wow. And that Bishop Tony Palmer, when he comes, he get all these ministers together, and they sign.
Yep.
That's why they sign all the churches, beginning the 7 days churches, along with all the other Protestants. They all sign. Come back home to Mama.
Come home to Rome. When y'all get a chance, you can look that up, and it'll show you where they made those things. All right, here's another video here. This is just a little breakdown. I like this chart the guy had. And this is a quick video of how he did it, which was pretty good. Interesting. Fair use, fair use.
So obviously, Christianity starts with Jesus, who lived from approximately 4 BCE to 30 CE. Since Jesus was a Jew, most of his original followers were also Jews, and they came from several different branches of Second Temple Judaism. Originally, those belonging to the new movement started by Jesus were simply called the followers of the Way. But pretty soon, more and more non-Jews started to join, and thus the movement eventually came to be seen as a completely new religion. Initially,
so you see, a completely new religion was formed now. Because you had the Israelites, we understand who we are as people, and at that time, when you had the splitting and families breaking up within the captivity of Rome, the derogatory term of Christianity was placed upon you. Or you're a follower of that Messiah. We'll call you a Christian, follower of Christ. And then this is where they start to make it into a religion. I was going to play another video, but I says, I don't have to. I can just explain it. I did it before with Constantine. How it ties back to the same pantheon god that they worship, Mithra, the sun god, which has the same rays on the head. And that is the god whom he was putting together under the banner of Christianity, bringing all the people together. Okay, there's lots of information out there, and it will illustrate and show you that. But this is an interesting chart. Just listen and see how the flow of it all happened. Okay, the split.
Christianity drew heavily from a group of people known as God-fearers. These were Greeks and Romans who were attracted to Jewish ideas, but did not want to fully convert to Judaism due to all of the various rules involved. Well, Christianity had far fewer requirements. For example, no circumcision and no dietary restrictions. And therefore, it was much easier for God-fearers to convert to Christianity.
See, because Israel, as an Israelite, you have to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Circumcision was part of it. The dietary laws was instructed. So what they're saying here is that we don't have to follow all these things that is over here. So we're going to make our own stuff. Hence Christianity. You can eat pork. You can do whatever you want to do in the name of Jesus. Okay?
So many of them did. I should also point out that while Christianity was mostly built upon Jewish ideas, it also inherited certain ideas from Greek philosophy.
See?
Okay, so another important thing to know is that in its early days, there was not really just one Christianity, but rather many Christianities. From the perspective of the Christianity that eventually became dominant, which I've labeled Proto-Orthodox Christianity, all of the other Christianities were heresies that had to be stamped out. One of the big ones was Gnosticism, which eventually did die out, but...
That's the same one you talk about all the time.
Same one I talk about, yeah.
Okay.
Which a lot of Israelites are now feeding on.
Ended up influencing both Manichaeism and Mendeism. There were also the Ebionites and Nazarenes, who were mostly Jewish Christians who saw Jesus as the Messiah, but not as God. They too died out, but likely had an influence on the development of Islam.
And that's That's why a lot of Hebrew Israelites are pushing that Joseph is the daddy.
Yep.
It's the same sauce.
Yep.
Right.
Alternative to what became the dominant form of Christianity was Arianism, which taught that Jesus was a created being who was elevated to the position of God. The controversy over this led to the Council of Nicaea in 325, in which Arianism was rejected, and the official set of Christian beliefs was written down.
This is where Constantine stuff comes into play now. So he's in power, and he's going to push a mixture of all of this beautiful alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, and put it all in one place and give it to you.
Resulting in what is known today as the Nicene Creed. According to Nicene Christianity, Jesus and the Father are co-equal and co-eternal. Now, a couple decades later, in 380, Nicene Christianity was made the official state religion of the Roman Empire. But you see, by that point, there were also Christians outside of the Roman Empire, particularly to the east in the Sassanid Persian Empire. Thus, around this time, the Church of the East was established as a distinct group. From here, the main church, the one that existed within the Roman Empire, went on to be organized into 5 main patriarchs, each in a major city: Rome, Constantinople, Antioch, which is in Syria, Jerusalem, and Alexandria, which is in Egypt. And the thing is, there ended up being a bit of disagreement between these areas. In Rome and Constantinople, an additional creed, known as the Chalcedonian Creed, was adopted, and it clarified that although Jesus was equal to God, he had 2 separate natures, one divine and one human. However, the other 3 pentarchies did not accept this creed, arguing instead that Jesus had only one nature, which was both divine and human at the same time. The division between the Chalcedonians and the non-Chalcedonians, who became known as Oriental Orthodox, became even more distinct when all 3 of the non-Chalcedonian areas were taken over by Islam. Christianity continued to exist in those areas, but was now...
Okay, I'm going to post that link in the chat so y'all can go look at it too.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the link is posted there. You can check it out too. And he has a bigger, longer video. This is just a 10-minute version about how the church here was formed through the mother coming down. But it goes for the entire thing of all religions. It shows you all of that stuff.
Now in the minority. Today, the Syriac Orthodox Church, the Coptic Orthodox Church in Egypt, and the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church all trace their roots to the three non-Chalcedonian patriarchates from the Roman era. In Rome and Constantinople, though, Christianity continued to be the majority religion, and thus it was these two cities that continued to be the main centers of Christianity. For several more centuries, Christianity in these two areas continued to be united, but...
And you see right here it says the Great Schism. Yeah. All this is the mother right here, okay? Because the Greek Orthodox is the same thing. Same thing. They do all the same things, they're just under a different banner, but it's the exact same thing, okay?
Eventually they split. The area under Rome's jurisdiction became known as the Catholic Church, and to this day it is still led by the Patriarch of Rome, although he's now better known as the Pope. Whereas the area under Constantinople's jurisdiction became known as the Orthodox Church, still led by the Patriarch of Constantinople. Today, the largest branch of the Orthodox Church is actually the Russian Orthodox Church.
Bring it back a little bit. I want you all to see something. Look at his. First of all, the difference is that one group continues. The Greek continues with the beards, and the other group has no beard. And if you look at this guy's scepter,
yep. See
the dragon, the serpent,
mm-hmm.
and that thing. You see it?
Yep. They're all the same. Left hand and right hand. That's all it is.
Is actually the Russian Orthodox Church, which in 2018 cut ties with Constantinople. Okay, for the rest of the chart, we'll be looking at the many denominations that came about as a result of the Protestant Reformation. It started in 1517 as a reform movement.
This is where people start to read. This is what Emo was talking about earlier. When people start to read for themselves and they start to see, we've been lied to all this time. The Catholic Church was only showing one thing and pushing one thing. But this is what it actually is.
After service.
Within the Catholic Church, but quickly led to the creation of three new branches of Christianity, mostly along state lines. Lutheranism, based on the teachings of Martin Luther, became dominant in many German states, as well as in Scandinavia. Calvinism, based on the teachings of John Calvin, became dominant in the Dutch Republic and Scotland. And finally, Anglicanism became dominant in England.
And keep in mind, brethren, when these people went out to enslave our people, whoever was coming from those areas, like the Dutch area, the slaves got Calvinism, right? Mm-hmm. If you came from Germany or Scandinavia, you got the Lutheran religion. If you were under the English captivity, you got Anglican and so forth. And that's why you have so many different varieties amongst the slaves. Different types of Christianity, yep. Correct.
Different type of potatoes. You have sweet potato, baked potato, fried potato. Irish potato. Now, in all of these things that you're seeing here, Mr. Pekah, none of this have anything to do with the Torah, keeping the laws. You as an Israelite, this is all a watered down version. This is like drinking septic water.
Septic water.
Okay? Has nothing to do with the life water the Most High is giving the children of Israel. Okay?
Take note that the Calvinist branch is also known as the Reformed branch, and that Calvinist churches that trace their roots to Scotland are known as Presbyterians. Now, there was also a fourth Protestant movement early on that was even more radical. Its followers became known as Anabaptists.
That's the Baptists.
Because they taught that adults should be rebaptized. Groups that trace their roots.
So you see where the term Baptist come from now? You have to be baptized. So it's a lot of cliques and clans and crews. Oh, I don't like to wear the color red, so I'm gonna wear blue over here in this church. I don't like to wear blue, I'm gonna wear green in this church. I'm gonna wear purple in this church. Because they're taking the Torah, and what they're doing is they're taking the laws and saying, we don't want to keep these laws. We want to eat pork over here, so we're gonna eat pork and call ourselves Calvinists. We over here, we don't want to do baptism. We're gonna call ourselves Anglican. We want to keep baptism and call ourselves Baptists. We don't want to keep the feast days because of Lutheran. So it was just picking apart the Bible, the law, statutes, and commandments, and doing whatever you want to do. This is what Christianity is all about.
And Anabaptist basically means those that rebaptize again. So they were part of whatever previous denomination, and then they go back to the water and commit themselves as a different group altogether. So you got
Mennonites, Amish.
Yeah, Amish and so forth. Yeah.
To this movement include the Brethren, the Mennonites, and the Amish. Okay, from here on out, we'll mostly be dealing with the English-speaking world. At first, Great Britain, and then mostly the United States. Since Anglicanism continued to operate a lot like Catholicism, meaning that it had a very top-down structure, a bunch of smaller, more loosely organized church groups eventually started to pop up as well. Collectively, the people belonging to these groups were known as English separatists, and many of them ended up traveling to the Americas, where they could have more religious freedom.
Pilgrims.
That's all it is. Pilgrims coming over on the name of the ships that lied to us, the Mayflower, and all kind of stupid stuff they made up in school to brainwash you about Thanksgiving, all kinds of stupid stuff.
Foolishness. And that's where you get the Quaker oats.
However, most of the original groups, such as the Puritans, eventually fizzled out. But two that didn't were the Quakers and the Baptists. We'll be coming back to the Baptists in a moment, but for now, take note that there were also many congregations that simply remained independent, hence the term Congregationalists. We now come to the first of the three Great Awakenings. These were periods of increased religious fervor that led to the creation of even more new denominations. Now, although the Baptists were around before this time, it wasn't really until the First Great Awakening that their numbers really started to grow. For example, it was at this point that many Congregationalists, inspired by all the increased religious fervor, began to identify as Baptist. The other big denomination connected to the First Great Awakening is the Methodist Church. It was primarily built by former Anglicans, most notably a man named John Wesley. Okay, around 80 years later, there was a second Great Awakening.
The second Great Awakening. Okay. And our people was fast asleep in slavery.
Yeah.
But these are the heathens who are taking advantage of this opportunity. Okay.
Things took place exclusively in the United States. It attracted mainly Congregationalists, Baptists, and Methodists, but then shuffled many of them into new denominations, such as the Disciples of Christ and the Plymouth Brethren. However, the three largest denominations that came about as a result of the Second Great Awakening are the Seventh-day Adventists,
So you all see that? So you see where the Adventists came from. We talked about this before. So they're talking about being a true church and all that nonsense, but they are a offshoot of the Methodists and so forth, which goes back into the Catholic Church and all the other corrupt stuff, right? What we're looking at here is basically a recycling plant.
That's
Remember
all it
we talk
is.
about the cesspool?
Yes.
Like it go from this pipe, goes down here, and it filters out and goes here and back and forth. Huh? Yeah. Dirty water just moving around all over the place.
Yeah, go ahead. This is a desalination septic plant.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, brother.
Because Torah is not for them, they're supposed to do all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's their job.
Yeah.
Because they're looking at our scroll, right? They're taking a book that don't belong to them, and now, but they interested in it. So now they want to say, well, we don't want to. We want to eat pork, like you said, brother. We want to do this, but then you should put the book down because it don't belong to you.
Mhm.
All right, just leave it alone.
And if you notice, you had the first awakening, first Great Awakening, the second Great Awakening, and then they had the third Great Awakening, right? Guess what, Mishpachah? We have the Real Awakening.
Yes.
Okay, knowing who you are as an Israelite. Not all this foolishness that they keep bringing up every couple of years. The truth will make you free. Okay?
the Jehovah's Witnesses, and the Mormons. They differ from other denominations in that they all departed from traditional Nicene Christianity. This is why they are shown in beige instead of purple, except for the Seventh-day Adventists, as they have since moved back towards Nicene beliefs.
So wait a minute, the Adventists was used to be part
of that group over there.
Over there, then they moved back over here.
Mm-hmm. And you can see the lines, how they're going. This chart that he have is very interesting. He has a 3-hour video, and he'll show you how to connect to the Islam, how to connect to Buddhists, how to connect back to Judaism, all that come from one rotten apple.
So you got BJ's, Costco, Sam's Club.
Sam's Club.
What's the other one?
And then they go down to Walmart, to Kroger's, Publix,
Kmart.
You name it. Stop and Save, down to the bodegas and the little gas station shops that you have, corner stores.
All right, finally we come to the Third Great Awakening, which initially started out as a movement among Methodists, leading to the creation of the holiness churches. However, perhaps more importantly, following the Azusa Street revival in Los Angeles, it also led to the Pentecostal movement, and in turn the
You see how Rastafari down here too? They cover everything. This chart is unbelievable.
The Azusa Street revival is where that dude, I think that dude with the curly hair, sweet dude was, huh?
Grab the mic.
Grab the mic. Since you got a little splash. You got that splash, that dirty water splash.
Yeah, I got some
right?
of that. I got some of that. So I think his name's Mason. It was two Hebrews, and on Azusa Street, downtown Los Angeles, California, in the early 1900s, and they was praying. The story was, it was in the newspaper. They was praying, and they prayed so hard.
Carlton Pearson?
No, it's Carlton
Pearson was part of that too.
Yeah, that's where he
came
out of.
from. Yeah,
but so
sweet dude.
Bishop Mason, I think it's Mason. But anyway, they was praying so hard till they thought the building was on fire. It's an article about it, and the fire department came and thought the building was on fire, but it wasn't. They was praying so hard, they said the Holy Spirit fell in the building.
They knocked over a candle. That's what happened.
That's the story to that.
Okay.
You'll learn all that in Christianity.
Ms. Picard, see why this class have to be a part 2?
Spaghetti Junction.
I ain't even reached to the third. Which one am I on right now? I'm on the religious stuff still.
That is why. That is why I have so much problem now.
Yeah.
When you're trying to tell the people that go into Christianity now, where we all was, that you need to leave the cesspool out. You need to come out from that. They're trying all kind of things to put you down, to try to bring you back to that. You see? But the scripture tells us that there's a remnant. Some of we waking up and we are not going back.
That's right. That's the final. That's the real awakening.
To go forward ever.
Yep, that's the real awakening.
But Elder, while what you're saying is true, the danger is when we sit down and listen long enough to even Israelite camps.
Yeah.
And you start to really sift through their core beliefs, you're going to find that a lot of them has residue, or it's almost like a formation of some of the same stuff that we're looking at here.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be careful, family.
Yeah.
I mean, I, on the surface, yeah, a lot of them, of course, identify with the truth. But when you dig beneath the surface, you find some of them were part of the 5% camp group. Yeah. Some of them were part of the Islam. Some of them were in Islam, in this thing, and that thing, and all kinds of stuff. And some of what they learned in that, the structure, right, the dress code, some of the ideology, they took some of that same stuff, and now it's part of their, the ideology, and you got to be careful. Yeah, got to be careful.
Mm-hmm. So when we look at this chart, it's just a helping tool to understand how things are playing out. Okay, you may have one or two things that may be out of place, like a name may be, the date may be in the wrong place, meaning another person may be above that person or below that person. But this is just a tool to help you understand how all of this stuff is happening, okay? Let's continue.
Charismatic movement, both of which are associated with speaking in tongues. But another key aspect of the Third Great Awakening was the rise of fundamentalism, which involves very literal interpretations of Scripture and very conservative viewpoints. While not a denomination of its own, fundamentalism is followed by many Pentecostals and by many Baptists. At the other end of the spectrum is the very liberal United Church of Christ, which traces its roots back to the many independent Congregationalist groups from early American history.
I pause it a minute. You see how the chart goes back? You see the Hindu stuff over here?
Does he go into that too?
Not in this video. I'll just focus in on this here.
And the link has all of this in it?
The link goes to this video. When you go to his video, you'll see the other one that's 3 hours long that goes into all of it.
We're going to have to look at that.
It's in there, yeah.
A little bit more. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was a very quick overview of the Christian denominations family tree.
You see right here, the little Christian one right here? This is all we talked about right here.
That's over here on this side.
Yeah.
So this piece is all of this on the other side.
No, this is right here. This is what we looked at right here.
I know, but what is this on the other side over here? What's this?
This is on top of this right here, covers more of this here.
Okay.
Yeah. You see Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism. Yep.
Sikhism.
Sikhism down here.
Sikhism.
Okay, so there's a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, I think this one here goes in depth.
And Satan is sitting on top of all of this.
He's sitting on top, just looking down.
Satan is on
pinnacle.
top of all of this, watching.
Yeah. So, Mishpachah, we see how the religious side plays a big factor in this pyramid scheme that we call the kingdoms of the world. Let's continue. But with the corrupting of so many minds, we see today the conflicts and agendas still contribute towards the deception and lies. With Judaism, Zionism, and the Holy See, and Islam all playing their roles is fulfilling the scriptures. That's all they're doing. They think they're doing something different, but they're fulfilling the scriptures. This is the Catholic in league with Jewish, with the Jubus over here. This is America here, again, signing that Abrahamic league accord, trying to bring back, force the Messiah to come back to find some dirty cow that they're raising over there. They get it from Texas to take it over to Israel.
Imagine that.
There's all kinds of crazy stuff. All right, who have seen this before?
Yes, we have.
I have copies of this. Very interesting stuff. The facts don't lie. You can trace everything back to what these people are saying. So I laid it out this way because this is the series here, and it starts with this young man who became a priest, and he's telling you the inside story of how this whole thing is corrupted and how they're all tied together.
I spoke to his wife years ago.
You did?
Yeah, I did. He was murdered, poisoned, I think it was. But I spoke to his wife many years ago. I forgot her name, but yeah, this is like, I think it was like the early 90s or something like that. I spoke to her. Yeah.
So you see,
no, the mid 90s, the mid 90s, yeah.
Okay. Alberto, the double cross.
Alberto Rivero, he was a priest, Catholic priest, Jesuit. And he spoke about a lot of the things that we're seeing now, that the Vatican and basically what he was saying is that the Vatican never really changed. It's trying to project itself as being like the woman in the horror of Revelation is somebody different from the Catholic Church. That's what they're pushing right now. So this is why you find people like Candace Owens and many others using the motto, Christ is King. That's a Catholic term.
Yep.
They're promoting Catholicism through their thing, okay? So basically, there's a war between the Freemason Jubus and the Catholic Church.
Yep.
Satan basically give like a bid.
Yep.
Like, I want to see which one of you all is worthy to sit with me and rule. So he gave them some assignments, and they're fighting to try to get that position on top. That's all it is.
Yep. Yep. And next is we're talking about the secret societies next, which ties into all of this religious stuff here. Remember, the pyramid, the god of this world, then he tied into the religious side of things. And you see how the guy here is talking about the double cross, how it's literally a double cross. He's been tricked and lied to. The four horsemen, the prophecy of that, the godfathers, you see, they all tie into there's all same family, demonic occultic force, and how Islam plays into this whole thing. Okay, so it's a good series. When you get a chance, go look at it. It's from Chick Publication, I believe. Yeah. All right, religious organized crime. The Holy See was implicated in funding scandals through the Vatican Bank. You ever heard of the Vatican billions? Mm-hmm. Remember, I always say follow the money, right? That's how you know who's doing what and what's doing who. Let's look at this little video here. I'm not going to read all of this. This is just so you can see how it all lines up. Let's look at this video.
His wife's name was Nuri.
Nuri?
Yeah, Nuri.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair use, fair use. 5 things you need to know about money, power, and corruption around Vatican Bank.
This is Gerald Posner. This is History in 5. Today I'm going to tell you 5 interesting things about money and power at the Vatican revolving around corruption, murder, scandal, and intrigue.
Number 1, for about 1800 years, popes were unchallenged monarchs of a worldly empire as well as rulers of the Catholic Church. Now, when you look at it, because I was looking up, for example, the Pope or the King of whatever country, do they have control over the literal government, state? And AI is going to tell you they don't carry hard power, they carry soft power. Now, Mishpaka, what is more dangerous, hard power or soft power? Let me see who's thinking. What's more dangerous? And when you answer, why would that be? What do y'all say? Why would that be? Sneaky power?
Soft, subtle, sneaky.
Okay, I'm explaining the difference in the slides later, but I'll just touch it now. Soft power deals with financial. When we talked about last night, bribes, taking bribes, how Trump was donated how many trillions or billions or whatever it
Billions
is?
of dollars, yeah.
Okay, that's influence.
Mm-hmm.
So behind the scenes, they'll fund you and say, I'll give you all this money to push this agenda. Hard power is military might. When they come and they'll say, we have tanks outside, give us what you got, or else we're going to do. This is what Israel is doing here, the hard power side of it. U.S. is doing the soft power side of it. And then they combine the forces together. So with these monarchs and stuff, back then they had both hard and soft power. Today they carry the soft power, but the government side carries the hard power, which is the military side. The armies, navies, marines, and so forth, to police the state, okay?
For about 1800 years, the popes were not just the head of the Catholic Church, the spiritual head of the world's largest religion. They were also kings, pope kings. They had a secular empire, thousands of square miles of lands, their own armies. They built up a vast court around the pope. How did they get the money for this? They fueled it by taxing people inside their empire.
Just like today.
I don't know if I will trust that dude, man. Something is wrong the way he looks. Is that a real guy or is that an AI?
No, that's the real guy. He's a journalist. I don't know if he's alive still, but he was talking out against the Vatican, so he may have been in something. We don't know.
By fees and also by selling something called indulgences. A piece of paper was sold to a Catholic and said, you're forgiven for your sins for buying that paper.
Imagine that. You bought this here so you can be forgiven for your sins. That'd be nice, huh? So money talk. If you had money, you were sinless. Basically what it's saying. You was poor, you was full of sins because you couldn't afford a piece of paper.
Still, it wasn't enough money, and the popes had to go at times to borrow money from the Rothschilds, the preeminent banking family in all of Europe who was Jewish.
So the Pope was borrowing money from the...
This is how the Jubus are
Jubus.
connected. Follow the money, you'll see how they're connected. Okay? So under the table, the Jews were funding the papacy. Okay? When you dig deep enough, a lot of things start to fall out. The rabbit hole is so deep that you stick your hand in, your foot come out this way.
Much to the distaste of many Catholic cardinals who thought it was terrible to have to borrow money from the people they viewed as killers of Christ.
In 1870, the Pope's army lost the papal state to Italian nationalists. So there was a war going on between the monarchs and the families, the royal families.
All of this ended in 1870 when the popes lost their empire. Italian nationalists trying to unify Italy took over, they kicked the king, and they took over the pope's lands. They left the pope with a small postage-stamped size parcel of land, the Vatican, and then all of a sudden in 1929 it changed because the pope struck a deal with the head of Italy, then a fascist dictator, Benito Mussolini. The fascists recognized the Vatican as an independent sovereign country. They made the Pope the head of that country.
So the same thing they did with the state of Israel is what they did with the papacy. Conquer this little piece here, take it over, say this is what we can turn it into, and this is what happens.
With divine rights. 4 years later, that same Pope struck a deal with Nazi Germany and Hitler's Third Reich.
See?
So we talked about this many years ago.
They're all connected. They're all connected. Let me minimize this a minute. Let me go back to this slide here real quick so you can see.
The Pope made deals with Germans, and the Germans was taking the gold and bringing it to Switzerland.
I'll make it big one more time.
Because Switzerland was neutral, and basically Switzerland was like a big laundromat, just processing all the money that's coming in from the war from Europe, and turning it into gold bullion, so that they can transfer that into different treasuries and stuff. It's just basically a money laundering scheme.
What this video is just showing you shortly, this is what these books were telling you. See the symbols on here? Hitler, the Jubus, and the Russians.
Communism.
All linked back to Rome. Okay, they're all one big happy family, like you showed last time. Where's the video? Right here. Okay, let's continue.
And they signed a deal where the Third Reich recognized the church as the church recognized Hitler and his power inside of Germany.
In the middle of World War II, Pope Pius
the 12th
formed the Vatican Bank. So now this is where all the money is going to be funneled into. Okay, this is where they're going to steal all the transactions and put their money, hide their money.
In the middle of the war, the Americans and the British are trying to stop anybody trading with the enemy. So they are blacklisting companies and countries, including some...
Same thing happened today, blacklisting companies.
Embargo and...
Yep, embargoes and tariffs. Yep, same thing.
Countries that call themselves neutrals, like Switzerland, San Marino, Monaco. The Vatican says we're neutral. Once the bank is formed, the Vatican is able to do business throughout the war, continue to do it with Nazi Germany, with blacklisted companies. After the war, what happens? That Vatican Bank funds with British and American intelligence some Nazis to escape to South America who were wanted as war criminals.
And you showed us in the classes before. Everything we're showing, Mishpachah, is not by accident. We're showing you how the connections of these wicked heathens operate, okay? All fulfilling prophecy.
So they were working together to bring the Nazis over here. And then the same Nazis became the scientists
that operate on the locals.
NASA was built on Nazi
technology
and a whole lot of other things, Mishpachah.
The bank, the Vatican, and intelligence agencies have become partners by the end of the war.
Yep, alphabet soup.
1960 saw increasing financial speculation and risk taken by the Vatican Bank. So what they try to do is cover it up, but the evidence is always there. how good of a lawyer do you have that you can play the 3-card Monty? To shuffle the deck. The shuffle it.
3-card Monty, huh?
That's all they're doing, illusionists, okay?
Bishop Marcinkus gets involved with prominent Italian businessmen, including Nicola Sandona, one of the titans of industry in Italy in the 1960s and 70s.
This is all mafia now. So now they're funding their, how do we get money and how do we take out certain people? Because as they're growing and they're coming back and bringing in and doing their transactions, this is how you fund things and say, we don't want this to happen over, take this person out. Here, I pay you. I have all this money. How am I going to get this money clean? Bring it to my system. And it's just a transaction between the government and the church. This is where you had church and state, and this is where they try to split it in half now.
You remember that movie, The Godfather? Because you mentioned about the mafia. That movie is very unique because it started around World War II, I believe it was, or 1, 2, whatever. And then there are many parts of that in the series that included, of course, the Catholic Church, the ties between the Catholic Church and the mafia. They're working together, and also the Jubus were working together. That whole family, the whole mess, right? All right, you can continue on.
And also Roberto Calvi, a major banker. They end up in all types of offshore deals and back-to-back loans and fraudulent transactions that bring down the business empires of those two men and put the Vatican Bank at the edge of bankruptcy. And Marcinkus ends up staying inside the Vatican, claiming that the jurisdiction and sovereignty of the Vatican as a separate nation keeps him from going to trial for fraud in Italy. And eventually that standoff leads to his resignation. He leaves the country without ever serving a day in prison.
See?
In 2013, Pope Francis inherited a bank that was troubled and shrouded in secrecy. This is when all the scandals start coming out about the rapes, the robberies, and all these different things, because the money was going back to all these scandals that came out. But the scandals were true.
And surprisingly, Epstein was all connected to the same stuff too. He actually.
We're going to see some of that too.
You're going to, okay, great.
And I mean, in the next thing here coming up.
Okay, great.
Because you have to understand the financial part of it. Epstein was a master of that. He was one of the guys that was in charge of shuffling the money around. So when the church was taking certain priests and popes and cardinals and bishops, whatever titles they had, and this person did something nasty and illegal over here, they will take them and put them in another country and change their name and put them over a parish over here. And it was just shuffling around. Same thing with the rabbis that came over here. When they start messing around, they will go back to Israel and change their name.
Yeah.
And get a house over there and start fresh, or go to a different country, start fresh. Yes, Ella.
Yeah, those movie stars, Hollywood, Kirk Douglas and all of them fellas. That's why they have their name. They change their name to who they are as they play in this.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue.
An Italian journalist exposed the extent to which the Vatican Bank had still stayed a corrupt institution through the 1990s into the 2000s. Enter Pope Francis. He comes in 2013 with high expectations. He fired many of those laymen who worked inside the bank who weren't doing.
And this was just a surface cleanse to appease certain people. It's like, you know how some companies, they'll come in, and in order to get rid of the tax bracket on them, they will donate some things, change their name, and then come back in, and they will fire a few people in the front office. But the whole thing is the same. It's the same bag of potatoes. They just change the color of the bag and the name of it. But the person where they get the potatoes from is the same place. So nothing has really changed. And this is what when he came in, this is what he did.
Anything to make it transparent. He's adopted roles which suddenly changed the bank to become part of the international community. The wild and crazy days of murders and double dealing and fraud may well be, hopefully, a thing of the past.
So that book is called God's Bankers. There's more to it. It's just a short clip just to show you the connections. All right.
Okay, I wanted to read something. I don't know if you will permit me to.
Go ahead.
This is an article about the Pope appears in the documents on the Jeffrey Epstein list, right? And it says in the news that surprised internationally within the documents that were declassified, there is a mention of a Pope and a photograph of Ghislaine Maxwell, who was accused of recruiting Jeffrey's victims, right? She asked, besides the bathroom or the massage room in Epstein's Palm Beach house, do you remember any other places in the Palm Beach house where you've seen these photos of topless women? The victim's response was, I remember that there were photos everywhere, and the photos that stayed the most in my memory are the ones that there was a photo of Ghislaine with the Pope. I wasn't surprised there were nude photos around. She just didn't keep them in my memory. The question, and wasn't Ghislaine in a topless photo with the Pope? Just to be clear, the victim response, correct. Did y'all hear that?
Yep. So they know how to hide the stuff. Religious political power. So the papacy wields significant political influence, primarily through the Holy See. I call it the unholy see. A recognized sovereign entity in international law. So remember, the soft power, see it says down here? It says it maintains diplomatic relations with over 180 countries. That's the same number when you go to the UN. Utilizes a global network of ambassadors, apostolic nuances, and wields immense soft power. To influence issues like climate change, migration, and peace initiatives. That's just the front of what they say. But behind the scenes, they're controlling a lot of the things that are going on. Remember, it comes from the head, which is the God of this world, through these men, down to the government side where we're going to next. Revelation 17 and verse 2.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
So the kings of the earth are the governmental factors that we're going to see right now coming up, have committed fornication. That's the bewitching to the doctrines and the financial backdoors that they have been working through for years. Verse 13.
These have one mind.
They have one mind.
And shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
That's the goal. Remember, the goal is to bring about the mark of the beast. Nothing has changed. The Most High says, my words will not go out unanswered. It will not come back to me void. Okay? The prophets have spoken. Verse 18.
And the woman which thou sawest is that great city.
What great city, Mishpachah? The Vatican City. Okay? It's tied to all of these religiously. That is where everything runs through. Continue.
Which reigned over the kings of the earth.
And we saw just some brief snippets of how the financial transactions fall through that, okay? Russia, Germany, and the Jews, Israel. And how America plays a big part in it militarily also, okay? So you see the religious order. Now we're going to go to the royal families now. See, I ain't even reached far yet.
So you're gonna go through all of these?
I'm supposed to go through all of these. It's a lot, Mishpachah.
That's gonna be
it's a
interesting.
lot.
That's a series. Yeah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And this is important, family, because again, as we operate in this world, same way that when you want to buy, let's say you want to buy a loaf of bread, right, from the supermarket, you're not making your own, you're gonna buy it. You need to know what's in the ingredients and everything else. And when you find certain things, you just stay away from it, right? It's the same thing with this world. There's just so much we can do, but it's important for us to have a better understanding. You just can't stick your head in the sand like, well, I believe I heard this message from this group and I believe it, and wow, it was a powerful message. As we saw in the video, where did that group come from? Who they associate with? What do they really believe and all that stuff? That's important. Do they align with the scriptures, or do they contradict what the scriptures are saying? Right? And then sometimes you have certain groups that change the word of the Most High to suit their denomination, their belief system. Oh, we don't use that Bible. We got our own stuff now. And they just change things over and make you believe that it's all righteous, as if Peter and Paul had that book back in the day.
So, Mr. Picard, it's a whole lot. Last night I was sitting there and I'm like, I said the Most High, says, just give me a calm spirit so I can go through this, because you get overloaded with, you're looking at, you're like, man, I can't believe, what? And I'm like, is there so much doors? You open a door and it's like, you ever
There's
see
5 doors in front of you.
You ever see
this one, that one, this one?
You ever seen the scene where you're standing there and the stairs are going up and down and the doors all over? That's how this maze is. Wait till you see I get to the technology part of it. It's unbelievable how it goes right back up the chain. Okay? Follow the money. All right, let's continue. As of 2025, there are 28 royal families reigning over 43 sovereign states worldwide. How many have heard of the 13 bloodlines? You've heard of that, right? If you haven't heard of that, I'm going to talk about that in the next side. Possible. Well, that's what they say.
Okay.
Everything I'm going off of is what is out there. Okay. So I'm getting information when I'm doing my research. I'm pulling information out, and this is what is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if I'm getting information about feathers, beaks, quacking, and so forth, I put the picture together. I'm only giving you what the picture I receive, okay? So they say there are 28 royal families out there over 43 sovereign states, ranging from absolute monarchs in the Middle East to constitutional monarchs in Europe and Asia. Key family includes the Windsors in the UK, the Yamatos in Japan, Chakari, Thailand, Al Saudi in Saudi Arabia, and the Bernadotte in Sweden, and many serve in ceremonial roles while others hold absolute power. The key of the ceremonial roles also plays a factor in their position, okay? And absolute power, is this showing you on the hierarchy where they all fall into place? All right, what the world considers royal, Mishpachah, the Most High deems unfit or below the standard. Remember that. We Israel are the true royals. But for now on this earth, in this kingdom of darkness, the wicked's seed are the royals, okay? And they have the power that is soon coming to an end. Exodus 19 and verse 5.
Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant.
See, Israel is linked to the covenant. No other nation is linked to the covenant. Continue.
Then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me.
A strange treasure, meaning there's none other like you. Unique. Go ahead.
Above all the peoples.
That means of all the families out there on earth, we are the most beautiful according to the Most High. Continue.
For all the earth is mine.
The earth is his, okay, and the fullness thereof.
Mm-hmm.
But this world system is operated and owned by Satan and his agents. Let's look at the royal families. Job 9 and verse 24.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
All right, let's look at a small video about the royal families to see something, just to get a little understanding. There are many videos out there, but I just kept it simple on this one. Let's see. Fair use.
We all love stories about a king and his kingdom. Today, we're about to uncover the grand lives of the wealthiest royals, starting with the richest of them all. Taking the #1 spot, we've got Maha Vajiralongkorn, with a jaw-dropping net worth of $30 billion. Born in 1942, he officially took...
Now, this video is a little older. I picked this one because I'm going to show you some more things on it. But currently, Saudi Arabian guys, these princes over there, they're in the trillions, triple-digit trillions. I don't know what Israel will do with all that wealth at that time, but Mishpachah, all that wealth belongs to us in the kingdom. Okay? So just stay tuned.
And he's carried on if you go back a little bit, he's carried on that thing, just like the popes back in the day.
Worth of $30 billion. Born in 1942, he officially took the throne as the King of Thailand in 2019. But what really sets him apart is the Thailand Crown Property Bureau. It's valued at over $40 billion, and it falls under Vajiralongkorn's kingdom. With all that money, he's become a big-time landowner, with over 16,000 acres, much of it prime real estate, and more than 40,000 rental contracts with developers. The popular malls in Bangkok, like Siam Paragon, Siam Discovery, and Siam Center, are all sitting on land leased by him. As for his residences, he's got the majestic Grand Palace in Bangkok as his official residence, while his private residence is at the Dusit Palace.
It looks like the Vatican, doesn't it?
Yep. They all taste after Rome.
Stop there. He's got quite the collection. 38 airplanes, 300 cars, 52 boats, a diamond worth a staggering $11 billion. He's also got a 23% stake in Thailand's second largest bank, and a massive 33.33% stake in the Siam Cement Group. Such a pronounced kingdom, we must say. At number 2, we have Hassan al-Bolkiah Ibn Omar, with a net worth of $30 billion. He's the 29th Sultan, the Prime Minister of Brunei, Yang di Pertuan of Brunei, and
now these are all vassal kings to the beast system, okay? So you'll see where take the money, and where did their money go? Goes back into the system that from the top where we start earlier today.
Put a 1 in the chat for the sisters who are looking for 1%. Man, see, these are the 1%. Right?
Yeah, these are the 1%ers.
Top it all off, he's Brunei's absolute monarch. A significant chunk of his immense wealth comes from oil reserves and natural gas. When it comes to his possessions, he's got an unbelievable collection of 7,000 luxury cars. Among those 7,000, there are 600 Rolls Royces and 300 Ferraris. He also...
I mean, what's the point? What's the point? If I had that money, I won't need to have those cars.
Come on, sisters. This is a great opportunity. Find yourself a sultan. 300 cars, Ferraris. You can't drive all of that.
That's for the demons? He must say that's for the demons.
Well, it's just basically the collection of those cars is like the money in the bank. It's just another form of money. Assets. Currency. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I can understand you have a favorite 1 or 2, maybe, a few cars that you really like that you don't really make no more. Because you with royalty as a king and a wealthy person, you would have things. Nothing wrong with the things. But when you have things in excess, for what reason? And your subjects below you can't even afford a car.
You know the funny thing is they showed a picture of him walking.
Yeah.
And his feet are like it's like a bird. It's like it's crooked.
Going out that way?
Right.
Yeah.
So with all that money, he couldn't get a doctor to straighten those legs out.
You drive too much.
What's that? Some could be gifts too. Yeah.
Yeah, some are gifts too.
Yeah.
Has a gold-plated private jet, a Boeing 747, which is worth around $400 million. And his palace, it has a whopping 7...
Stop.
They all have that little thing on top of it.
That Vatican look to it, huh?
That dome-shaped egg. That when you look it up, that ties back to the Enlightenment. Where harbors spiritual enlightenment from. Okay?
1,700 rooms. Now, how many? Put a 1 in the chat. How many of y'all would like a house like this, brother Yehuda? You like a house like that? Huh?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that you have to maintain all? And this is just this doesn't even speak of the size of each room. You got to maintain all of this, brother.
Brother Yehuda, they give you the contract to paint these houses. You'll be there all year just in one room, really. Then they'll fire you and says, "How come you can't get the whole kingdom painted?"
No, the truth of the matter is a lot of Israelites will love this lifestyle, man. Let's look at it. A lot of y'all love this lifestyle.
Mr. McCall, we will be taught, educated.
I'm gonna have a prayer room for the Most High and on the east side and the west side. And
you take the land.
You take the land. Okay.
Well, don't worry, Mr. McCall. Our kingdom is coming. Our kingdom is coming. This is why the Most High is going to give us servants, because you will not be able to do this type of work. This is why servitude is important.
You got to clean all of that. All them royal toilets, elder.
You have this land, you have all this.
By the time you finish clean one side, go to the other side,
the grass grow back.
The other side is dirty, you got to go back again.
Israelites to do that.
You forever cleaning and polishing this thing, you can never truly enjoy it.
No.
Emo, you love a house like that?
We're going to have heathens cleaning it, not Israelites. All right, let's continue.
1,500 rooms and is worth $306 million. Moving on to the number 3 spot, we've got Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud with a net worth of $20 billion. At the age of 19, he kicked things off as the deputy governor of Riyadh. Fast forward 48 years, and he's been the governor for quite some time, but he didn't stop there. He eventually snagged the role of the second deputy prime minister, and in 2015, he became the king of Saudi Arabia. His possessions include...
See, they all have the same dome shape?
Same type of houses.
Connected to spiritual hierarchy, okay?
It looks like an English manor or something, right? The layout and all that stuff.
Yep. All have to pay tribute back to their leadership.
A massive 7,000 square meter mansion in Paris that comes with a nightclub, a gold-leafed fountain, an underwater...
A lot of sodomy, rape, and all kinds of stuff happen in these places. The devil is operating at a high level, so they kidnap and traffic people to these places.
That's where it's been.
Glass chamber,
Epstein, and a lot of these things too, yes.
Like a gigantic, luxurious aquarium. Well, sliding into the number 4 spot, we've got Prince Al-Walid bin Talal Al Saud with a hefty $17 billion net worth. What's fascinating is that the first king of Saudi Arabia is his grandfather. Prince Al-Walid is the founder and CEO of the Kingdom Holding Company. This company has stakes in companies like Lyft and Citigroup, and they...
So when you pay your Lyft tab, you're paying him money. Everything that you do, the money goes back to these wealthy families that we can talk about.
Even own swanky hotels. Think Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts, Paris's elegant Hotel George V, and London's prestigious Savoy Hotel. His official mansion is...
Yes, Sister Marvis, a lot of these guys are armed, okay? So under their gowns, that they have weapons.
The Al Yamama Palace, which is a staggering 4 million square feet, has 1,000 rooms and probably a whole lot.
1,000 rooms.
Can you imagine that's your living room, Brother Shay? That's your living room. Can you imagine?
Can you pass me the remote?
Brother Shay's living room. Brother Shay's robots. Brother Shay's.
Clap off lights? No.
Brother Shay's living room. Look at all the chandeliers. You have a chandelier for each side.
Oh boy, that's a lot of cleaning. That's a lot of dusting.
A chandelier for each window.
It's a lot of dusting, boy.
More. At the 5th spot, we've got Hans Adam II with a net worth of $7 billion. He's the 15th reigning prince of the House of Liechtenstein and has been at the helm since 1989. He can actually veto laws, handpick ministers and judges.
See? Soft power. You don't have a military. Behind the scenes, money talks, okay?
And even give the boot to cabinet members. But the riches don't stop there. The Liechtenstein family also happens to own LGT Group, which happens to be the world's largest private bank.
Now, who has an account in this bank? In the chat.
Banking company. It just goes to show that being a royal brings you not just a life of royalty and luxury.
And this is just a small video, Mr. Picard. There's hundreds of videos that give you more in depth, but I just wanted to show you a little taste of that to see where we are on the totem pole, as they would say.
Totem pole, huh?
Okay. Royal families. To understand the wizard behind the curtain, do you understand what I'm saying? This is the Wizard of Oz speech. There's a little guy behind the curtain. His name is Lucifer. And he's been puppeteering the world on a grand scale. So one must understand that these families operate in the shadows under the influence of these demons. Let's look at Psalms 58 and verse 3. Psalms 58 and verse 3. We're almost, we should be finished shortly. That's why I had to do it in part two.
As you're getting older and you need a lot of servants to take care of all of that real estate, vacuuming that place, you need a little vehicle to drive.
By the time you start
to vacuum, you don't want one of those street cleaners.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna have to have one of those drive up and down that hall to keep that thing clean. I know a lot of our sisters will love that, right? Don't you, Merle? He has a mansion that size.
Oh boy.
Yes. People of England.
We're gonna talk about some of them just now. We'll talk about some just now. I just showed you a little video on that. There's more. All right, Psalms 58 and verse 3.
The wicked are estranged from the womb.
They are not connected to the Most High from the womb.
They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
The demons enter them and control them. Remember, I showed you the class when they have no choice. Remember that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And let's look at Jubilees. Book of Jubilees, chapter 15. I read this before, but we're just going to read it again. Verse 31, Jubilees 15 and 31.
And he sanctified it and gathered it from amongst all the children of men. For there are many nations and many peoples, and all are his. And over all have he placed spirits in authority to lead them astray from him.
So he placed the spirits over these other nations. When you continue to read the next verse, he talks about Israel as his peculiar people, who him alone, Yeshua alone, will be the one in charge over us. So these royal families, Mishpachah, are controlled by these demonic forces. Oldest monarch, absolute monarchs, wealthiest families. Let's look at the wealthiest family here. Read that one for me right here.
The Al Nahyan dynasty of the United Arab Emirates is often cited as the richest, with an estimated fortune of $305 billion.
$305 billion. And read the next one about the Commonwealth realms.
King Charles III is the monarch of the United Kingdom and 14 other Commonwealth realms, including Canada, Australia, Jamaica, and New Zealand. So
King Charlie controls all of that.
But wait a minute, I thought Jamaica,
they're independent.
According to them, they were independent.
They think they're independent.
We run things now run we.
Money, follow the money. The money, whoever face on the money is who runs, okay? So until you see Bob Marley face on the money or something like that.
Bob.
Yeah.
Even Bob himself was questionable.
Bob Charlie. I know, I'm just saying. Yeah, that was a pacifier.
Yeah.
And you see the absolute monarchs here. Let's move on. The House of Saudi. Let's see how rich this is the richest family in the world here. Go ahead.
Saud.
Read that for
the
me.
ruling royal family of Saudi Arabia is widely considered the richest royal family in the world, with an estimated net worth of over $1.4 trillion.
Trillion with a T. The T is so tight that you can't fit anything into that. Trillion. Okay. Go ahead.
While some social media posts have claimed a 500 trillion figure, this is not supported by financial reports, but they can control the financial reports too. Like,
they can tell you.
I want you to put like only 5% on the books. The rest of them just, hey, here's some money. Don't even report the thing.
Remember, what's the movie again with Eddie Murphy? Trading Places. I remember they had the little fund that was paying the dude on the side. What's his name? On the side, it was paying
a dollar.
Yeah, Mr. Beats.
Oh yes. To pay to
Beaks, Mr. Beaks.
For the orange, for the
to
reports,
to hide the reports. The crop reports, okay? Remember that. That's just a small snippet. This is on a grand scale. You have the money. You can pay people to shift the camera the other way, cook the books, like they say, right?
Yeah.
And you never know what's going to happen.
But Satan knows.
Satan knows.
Yeah, that's his money.
That's his money for now. To understand how these families influence and execute their power, you must always follow the money. You see, there is something called hard power and soft power. Hard power is the control by military might, while soft power is the control by financial might. Okay?
Mhm.
And look at this right here. Almost half of UK political donations come from private, wealthy super donors, new research finds. So when you have to bring in, set up governments and pass laws, money is the ones that's doing that. Just like we saw last night with
Adelson.
Adelsons.
Miriam Adelson.
The Adelsons funding the billions, millions and billions to the Trump administration.
And some of these names that you have on the list, we would just walk by the building, wouldn't even know the connections to
money.
whatever it is.
I mean, look at these names here. Look.
And some of us have worked in hotels as front desk or whatever it is, you know, and not knowing that this guy who's walking around with a cutout, dirty jeans or whatever it is, might be a billionaire.
He's
Part of the whole mess.
Yeah, he's the son of the son of
Son
somebody.
of the devil's son. You know what I mean? And you bring in a pina colada on the beach for him, and he's talking about, I want to talk to you later on. You know,
Yep.
talk to you later on. Come to my hotel room. I got some nightcaps, wink, 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 chocolates, and all whatever it is.
Let me pull this aside a
And
minute.
some dummy is gonna go there hoping that they can get a come up. They're gonna get a come up, all right.
All right, look at this here.
Boy, Satan has really lied to a lot of people.
All the time.
Tell you, let me just stay on the ground. As my master Yeshua, the Bible says that foxes have holes, but the Son of Man have no place
to lay his head.
Let me just stick with my Messiah, okay? Let me just wear my worn out sandals and just be simple. I know it's not gonna be, a lot of people don't want to deal with that stuff. That humble life, the humble bread.
So much slides I have left.
Right? That humble bread. Ain't no sodomite making my breads. Just a humble bread, brother. That's it. Right? Chandeliers at every window, brother. Can you imagine that? Chandelier at every window. Don't you well? How you feel about that? What's that, brother? Something in the bread, some extra stuffs?
Now, Mitch Picard, do y'all want to go to one more, or you want to end it here?
Let's continue. Let's continue on.
Everybody said one more. Okay.
Fresh.
Everybody said want to do one more.
One more.
Just one more.
Oh yeah, you could do one more.
Okay, we'll do one more, and then then I'll come back next time. Okay, because it's so much, man. It's just amazing. 6 parts. All right, so we look at the Freemasonry, the royal family. You can see how these Jubus slash woodwoosers with all their military shambles on.
You go to Michael's and you buy all those medals and pin them on your jacket. Stand in front of the camera and make yourself look royal and all kinds of stuff.
See these guys with the little aprons and stuff.
Yeah.
The dukes and all this other stuff. We're not going to go through this one today, but I'll touch on that later. But let's continue to go to the next one, and then we'll say shalom. So let's go to the next one here.
Wow.
So much, Mr. Prakash, so much. All right, so we're going to talk on the secret society now, and after that, then we'll say shalom, okay? All right, a secret is information kept hidden. That's what a secret's supposed to be, right? Shh. Nobody's supposed to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Unknown or confidential, often involving mysteries, trade secrets, and personal matters.
Mm-hmm. Trade secrets like 11 spices. 11 herbs and spices.
It implies concealment from others to maintain privacy or exclusivity to as seen in personal secret knowledge or specialized restricted information. So the brother over here is saying, keep your lips zipped. Mm-hmm. Loose lips sink ships. That's what they say, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Secret societies have existed among all peoples, savage and civilized. I think they're the savage ones.
Mm-hmm.
We're the civilized ones. Since the beginning of recorded history, It is beyond question that the secret societies of all ages have exercised a considerable degree of political influence. That's the whole point. The whole point behind of this is to gain the upper hand. That's the whole point of a secret society, is to gain the upper hand. If I know something that you don't know, I have power over you. That's what they push. And a lot of their information comes from the occult world. We're going to see how that ties back to the devil, down to the religious sects, because they all have to go through one channel to get their power. Okay? All right, secret society. Psalm 64 and verses 2.
Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
That's what we have to pray for every day, because these people are evil. So David is saying, hide me, O Lord, from the secret counsel of the wicked. Go ahead.
From the insurrection of the workers of iniquity.
Verse 5.
They encourage themselves in an evil matter.
Always in evil matters.
They commune of laying snares privately.
That's what they do, to set traps. How can I overcome you and you and you and take what you have? You remember Rebbe was talking about, and we're going to see some of it here. It's a network of different groups, all commissioned for the same reason, to see who can get on top to serve the devil's purpose. Remember in the same movie we talked about trading places, it was $1 they was making a bet for, just for the fun of it. That's what Satan does. For the fun of it, I'm going to put your name on his plaque. So all y'all go out there. That's why when you see some of these celebrity competitions, and they're doing it in the name of charity, to see who can win to donate that $1 million, whatever it is, to this charity of their choice. It's the same concept on a big scale. They do it on a small scale, but it's on a big scale. Okay? Continue. Laying snares privately.
They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them?
Who's going to know? Who's going to find out? So the owl mishpachah is tied to the occult because they say the owl can see things in the dark that we can't see.
Yep.
And this is why when you see a lot of people who practice the dark arts, they always have a bird like this around somewhere.
The great owl for the Bohemian Grove. And,
you go to any government building, you're going to see an owl somewhere on the property. I guarantee. Go look and see.
Even on the money, there was a little tiny owl. I think on the dollar bill.
There is a tiny owl on the dollar bill. You can look it up. And yes, Sister Marvis, even with Drake, he's tied to these societies likewise. He's playing a little part. He has the ties to the Jubus when you look down the family line, it's tied back into that. Okay, we'll talk about him on entertainment side next time.
It's crazy stuff.
All right, secret societies are exclusive organizations, often with hidden rituals, initiation rites, and veiled influence over political or social spheres. Okay, so when you have to deal with the government, these are the ones who run your governments. These are your friendly government, political, neighborhood people. Prominent examples include the influential Freemasons, like we all know about, right? The Goat Riders, the elite Skull and Bones. Some of your presidents are in this stuff.
That's right.
Secretive Illuminati, which are the light bearers, all right, and the influential Bilderberg groups, the money hungry groups, that they all have a part to play in this game of chess. These groups range from historical fraternities to alleged global power brokers.
To look at this clock over here, you can see that the top of the clock looks like the satanic angel wings. You know, the top part of the wings? Right here, you see it?
Yeah, try to make it bigger.
That's okay. Everyone can see it. But you know the wings?
Yep.
Dracula's wings.
All right, let me escape it and come back in. All right. The devil and his fallen minions loves the idea of the secret society because why? You don't know who's who. It's like you get a group of people in the room and you give them a secret and you give them a secret mission, but they all have the same mission, but nobody trusts anybody. That's basically what it is. Many of the groups all have one thing in common: the wicked spirit. While it is impossible to give an exact number, dozens of prominent historical and modern secret societies are explicitly or reputably connected to the occult. So they all tie back to the devil. All right? Focusing on esoteric knowledge, mysticism, and hidden rituals. These groups often blend spiritual, magical, or occult metaphysics into their structure. So you can tell by how they dress, the quotes they say, the people they associate with, their buildings that they have, with the left angles that they build in their structures, the different things that they find themselves associating with, all link back to something within the occult, the world of the occult, signs and symbology, okay? And they'll give you movies to try to throw you off to make it, again, the Jedi mind trick. This is just entertainment. It's not real. But yet, everything is right before your eyes, okay? All right, this is some of the orders that they have. Read that for me.
Ordo Templi Orientis, an organization dedicated to high magic and sexual occultism. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, a 19th century society dedicated to occult metaphysics, tarot, and magic. The Rosicrucians, a mystical esoteric group claiming hidden wisdom dating back to ancient Egypt. The Bavarian Illuminati. Though often political, they are heavily associated with esoteric occultism and conspiracy theories. And you got the Knights Templar, frequently associated with mystical esoteric knowledge during the Crusades. The Hellfire Club, an 18th century society often associated with occult rituals. Skull and Bones, a Yale society frequently linked to theorists to occult practices or elite occultism. They all got the same thing, right? Magic, occultism, they're all basically the same thing. So it's like the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. I mean, you can move from you can leave one division, one part of the military and go to another branch and so forth. You can go back and forth, or you can just work for the CIA, FBI, and
DEA. Yep.
So it's the same nonsense.
All in a bag of potato chips.
Modern day bike clubs. Shalom, Brother Pincus. Yep. Bikers Club. Yeah.
All right, let's pull it to the side. Let's look at a little video here.
And a lot of the stuff you find in the movies too.
Yes, they put it in the movies just to make you think that it's not real. That's what the movies is for, entertainment. We're going to see that side of Hollywood later on, okay? All right, fair use. There's a short clip here on this one.
So I think the question is, what's the most powerful or important secret society? Probably the one you don't know about. One that doesn't advertise its existence. The one which is never known anywhere under its real name.
You hear what he says. You wouldn't know what the real thing is. So a lot of the ones that we are familiar with are at the lower levels, and then you go up to the higher levels where you don't hear anything about it. Okay, it's a really, I didn't know that was true.
You've got things like the Bohemian Club. You've got the Bilderbergers, which is another sort of, formed in the 1950s. It's all very much sort of Western Europe, Anglo-European. I mean, all very closely sort of connected to NATO.
See, Doris Muelli was asking about the European side of it now. This is where we're going to start going to see now, okay?
The whole concept of a kind of Atlanticist world, which is essentially the Anglo-American combined with Western Europe. But you got a bunch of these things. I mean, the Council on Foreign Relations is very similar to that, and the Bilderbergers, and there's an overlap with the Bohemian Club, and then you've got the Pinay Circle, or Le Cercle, which is more French. Military, but also linked to the so-called secret Gladio, the idea of the Soviet
He went over it real quick. So that French army thing is linked to the IDF. Remember Candace Owens was talking about that this recently. If you watch her video, she's talking about the same things.
Yep.
Mr. Card, this thing goes so deep. You're like, man, you can't make this stuff up. So just listen to what he's saying. Let me go back a little bit. He ran over it real quick.
Military, but also linked to the so-called secret Gladio. You know, the idea if the Soviets overran Western Europe, there would be a stay-behind organization called Gladio. There'd be these freedom fighters. So the question I have about that is that how many secret organizations do you need? I mean, why all these separate groups, which often seem to have the same people into them? I don't put much stock in the idea that there actually is some small group of people running everything, because if they were, it would operate more efficiently. I do think that there are various disparate groups of people.
Just like what you was mentioning, is the same common goal. The devil gave all of these families a common goal. And they're trying to accomplish that goal. Who can build the image of the beast first? But they all have to come under one agreement. And one of the key markers, I'm going to say this today, is the money. When the money disappears and you have a one world currency, you know you're right there to accept this mark of the beast coming. They already mentioned the digital ID recently. We're going to talk about that later. You'll see how this all falls into place, okay?
Who think that they're running things, or try to. And that's what concerns me more than anything else.
Okay, that's that video. We're almost finished with this section, Mishpachad, and we're going to call it Shalom, okay? All right. From the top down, with church and state, to royal families, into the military, and throughout the universities, we can see many doors leading to and coming from secret societies. So they all have to go through this revolving door to get to where they have to go to. No matter what part of the world you are from, there are many in high and low levels of society that perform in secrecy and deceit. Okay, let's look at this other video here. Number 8.
The police have their fraternity. The
Yep.
doctors got their fraternity.
Everybody have-
Librarians got their fraternity. Teachers club, boys club, girls club.
All the clubs.
All types of stuff.
They start you off young.
You want to round you want to round up your sale to so and so to support so and so? Nope. Give me my money. It's 2 cents. I'll take my 2 cents.
Daycares, yep.
It's all kinds of clubs.
For a long time, I've been hearing about secret societies. Some people claim they are harmful organizations, and others say they are useful to society. I think their story is important and could be affecting our lives.
See, let me go back real quick. You see the same building here again? See the same dome shape?
Same thing.
Every rich person, family, they'll have something similar to that, okay? The structure, the demons have a place to go to. They know a marker to go to.
There have always been secret societies to retain knowledge.
In the Arab world, was completely fascinated by the idea of secret societies, Western secret societies.
There are all sorts of secret societies. There are political ones, there are criminal ones, and indeed there are occult ones.
The facts are there. It's just that we each sometimes interpret them differently.
What are these secret societies? Do they really exist? And what is their purpose? When I started the journey to search for answers, I got lost. Lost between many secret societies.
That's you. That was you. You got lost.
I was getting lost.
You started swimming like this. Going back up to the surface.
Yeah. I had to look around for my rope. Oh, here's my rope. And pull myself back.
Societies. Each one has its own rules and objectives. The Freemasons, the Illuminati, the Rosicrucians, Skull and Bones, and many others we hear of, and maybe others we don't. So I decided I should start by talking to someone who did a lot of research on this topic, I reached David Icke. Maybe he can show me the way.
And what's funny is a lot of these guys are tied into the same thing.
Same thing.
So what they're gonna do is, you want to talk about what we do? Just give them a little something and let them go. Oh yeah, we shake hands this way and that's it. So they'll give you little snippets here and there. But when you dig and you look, Mr. Picard, you see how they're all connected. They all tell you a little piece of the story.
Hi, David. You have investigated secret societies for a long time. Can you please tell me more about the origins of secret societies?
There have always been secret societies, well, as far back as we can ascertain, because there's always been groups of people that wanted to retain secrets to hoard knowledge. If I have a certain...
This is why the Most High said, when it comes to the word, freely do what? You receive,
freely give.
Freely give. There's no secret about this here.
He said I spoke openly.
Openly. The only secret he says is the things heavenly with the Father, that later on we will figure it out when we get to that point. But everything that pertains to us, it's open. But this is where the devil operates in secrecy, okay?
highly important level of knowledge and you don't, I am in a position of power over you.
So the objective of secret societies is actually to keep essential knowledge hidden from the public.
We live in a world that actually is made up of two worlds. One is the world that the population live in, and that is limited in terms of the knowledge that it has. This knowledge is kept from the population by not allowing it into the public arena. And this other world is made up of a global network of secret societies.
And when I talk about the internet next time, you're going to see how this net that we use, the World Wide Web, how it all ties into the devil's network, okay? It's amazing.
In which this knowledge is passed on through the generations of carefully chosen initiates at the core of the core, overwhelmingly coming from a network of interbreeding families.
So being a member of a secret society, for instance, like the Freemasons, you would have access to knowledge that nobody else has?
These secret societies are fiercely compartmentalized. You look at just the Freemasons as an example, the bottom 3 levels of degree, the so-called blue degrees, and there's 33 levels. And you only progress to the next level, which is what? The next level of knowledge, if that level
got that
decides...
British nose. See that British nose?
The walk.
It's kind of stuck up like that. Where you can see the
you are
hairs.
worthy of it, or you're the kind of person that should have it. You have, say, the Freemasons. You have the Jesuit order. You have the Knights Templar. And they appear, of course, compartmentalized in their individual pyramids. But there's a level above them. And at that level, which it doesn't officially exist, that's where the real game is going on.
Now imagine if the Messiah told us that we had to do all this stuff. Ooh.
If you said that, most of the people would have already been in it anyway. Right?
You got to blindfold yourself and do a handshake.
Come on, brother, you would have put on your blindfold before you come into class to listen. You can get some special secrets.
What is written about the Templars is that they were formed in the Middle Ages. They were warriors. They say they invented banking as we know it.
Money is always associated with it. If you want to know who's who, just follow the money, Mishpachah.
And they amassed incredible fortunes, and they offered loans to kings and nations as a way to control them.
You hear that? They offered the money to control the leaders. So the secret societies, when they say that they're the ones behind the scenes influence, it's by the money.
Then it is said they became builders and pirates and grew more popular and powerful until they were outlawed by the King of France and their leaders were burnt at the stake. But many say they continued in secret and became more occult. It seems there are many secret societies who people believe are ruling the world or producing its leaders, like the fraternity called Ordo Novi Templi, or New Templars.
This is what I was referring to. When you start doing this research, is how everything starts looking.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out which door to go through.
It is said to be behind the rise of Hitler. The fraternity...
You see how Hitler names keep coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we see his name with the religious side?
Mm-hmm.
Now we see with the secret society side?
And this symbol right here is a symbol of the vaginal area of a woman.
Yep.
It's called a matrix. Okay?
It's founded by Jörg Lanz von Liebenfels, a racial theorist, and Guido von List, an occultist. Lynn Picknett is a writer and researcher whose work on secret societies is very useful. I think she could help answer a few questions.
Hi, Lynn. You did an extensive research on the Templars.
Yeah, we did the research, yes.
So,
we don't even know if it's a man or a woman. We don't know.
what can you tell me about secret societies and their relation to power?
There are all sorts of secret societies. There are political ones, there are criminal ones, and indeed there are occult ones. I always say that the paranormal is things that happen, and the occult is things you choose to do. You know, so like join a society. And ritual magic, for example, which is all about focusing your will through rituals, and they hope to change the actual world through their will. Whether or not they manage it or not is another matter.
Do you think there is a link between secret societies and powerful political organizations, such as the Nazis?
The Nazis had their roots in a sort of semi-mystical belief system called Ariosophy, which actually came from the 19th century, but built up in importance after the First World War when Germany was beaten. And Germany felt it needed to build up its national pride. So they became very obsessed with Ariosophy, which was basically the idea that the Aryan race was a very ancient race that had ancient wisdom and had mystical roots.
When you talk about ancient, it's going back to the days of the tower, all the way back to Babylon, Babel.
And was going to rule the world. It's quite interesting that you have the United States, of all places, you know, being actually founded by unapologetic Freemasons. I mean, you know, they were, you know, there was nothing sinister about them because at that time, certainly, the Freemasonic ideal was about enlightenment.
So they soften the whole thing up, and they hide the fact of the witchcraft, the sacrifices, all the stuff that they do, the wicked things behind there, and then they bring the nice side to it. Oh, we help the poor, we build buildings and hospitals, and we do nice things to the public, and we do talk about Jesus too, and they talk about all these different things. So this is the lighter side that she's talking about here.
You have, you know, George Washington, you know, Benjamin Franklin. A huge number of the founding fathers were in fact Freemasons.
They believed there is magic in symbols, no?
Washington, D.C. was indeed laid out according to Masonic symbolism.
Have you all seen that before?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at it,
compass in a square.
It is laid out. There's more stuff to it. But that's another class that you can look at. Okay.
Symbolism to stamp the new center, the new capital with the Masonic.
And this is the heart of war.
Mm-hmm.
The Department of War now, that he changed it to, from defense to war. And this is the middle of the pentagram. This is a pentagon.
Yep.
This is the middle of a pentagram, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The five-pointed star.
Presence, if you like. And perhaps some of them did believe it did, you know, protect.
And that's the phallic symbol, Egyptian obelisk.
Uh-huh.
Everything has a reason and a purpose, okay? The demons follow the power. The people follow the power of these fallen angels to get their enlightenment.
In some way.
We may hear negatively of the Freemasons and consider it an accusation, but we all admire some of their figures.
And real quick, we're going to talk about this part here later. Right here, Mozart, in the music side of it. That's a lot of demonic music. A lot of people don't know that. You sit down and you waltz, and all the spirits just come right in. Come right to you. Because we grew up thinking these things are normal, not knowing what power these people was messing with, okay? You gotta be very careful.
Hear negatively of the Freemasons and consider it an accusation, but we all admire some of their figures for their contribution to humanity. This can be surprising, especially when these figures are Arabs. This is something worth exploring. I will talk to Ihab Girmazi, an MIT researcher and Harvard PhD candidate. He can tell us about secret societies in the Arab world.
So how the Muslims now are linked to this side now. So it connects. It connects. The same chart.
Because the Muslims wear something called a fez on their head. That's that red cap.
Mm-hmm.
The fez. That's from the Muslim world.
Yep.
Remember Farrakhan met with the Muslims and all that stuff? I mean,
what's the black call again?
The Kaaba stone.
Maroon.
Kaaba stone, the black stone.
No, I'm talking about the maroons. What's it called? Maroons. What's the black people that called that was back? Huh? Moors. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I had a brain freeze. The Moors. They used to wear the same fez hat and stuff too. It's all connected to this same thing here, Mishpaka.
It would be very good to start by saying that seeing Freemasonry and secret societies as a particularly evil organization in the Arab world especially is mostly a product of the second half of the 20th century. But if we look at the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, we would see that the elites in the Arab world was completely fat.
Yep, this is from a Arab Islamic temple here.
You can see the Arabic on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinated actually by the idea of secret societies, Western secret societies, and Western Freemasonic lodges. The first reason was that the Freemasonry is an elitist group that is interested in hiring and adopting as brothers those who are proved that they are influential in their societies. The second reason, they are different from the colonial, materialist, racist program, and perhaps most importantly, that they claim they had a spiritual aspect to them.
Okay, we'll stop on that one there. Almost finished. Let me see. We got one more slide. Let me see. And then we're going to call it. Let me go down here now. So we'll see that part there. All right. Secret societies influence politics by providing a secretive elite network for planning, networking, and controlling agendas. And you can see the Bohemian Grove down here.
With the owl.
With the owl. It's a big owl right here. All right. This is your long lost president, the Bush and the Kerrys, who are part of this organization. Anyone know what the sign is over here?
The Klan.
That's the Klan. That's correct.
With the Aryan symbol of the blood, the pure blood.
Pure blood.
Yeah.
This is the Klan. They are also part of this.
And John Kerry is actually a Jew. John Kerry is actually a Jubu.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. His family, I think they were French Jubus or something like that, that came over to Ireland, or they adopted the name Kerry from Ireland or something like that. So it's a whole history behind him. And I think he's married to the Heinz family.
Yeah.
The ketchup
people.
Ketchup peoples, which is also, I believe they're also Jubus. Okay.
So these families here all come together under these organizations to shape public policy. And you can see right here, colleges and universities, particularly Ivy Leagues, institutions have a long history of secret societies that recruit high-achieving, influential students, often focusing on campus leaders, athletes, and social elites. And some of our people have been caught up in some of this mess with the fraternities and sororities, not knowing that they're serving the gods of the Greeks and back up the food chain to Lucifer. Okay? All of this stuff here is just under the network to serve the one purpose of bringing in the mark of the beast. Okay? This is how they influence policy and control the agendas in the communities. Lastly, military organizations have historically been linked to secret societies, clandestine stay behind networks, and covert informal groups. So when you have all of these Mossad and CIA and special forces and so forth behind the scenes of the different armies, they all go through a lot of these secret societies. Even back to the churches again. Churches and secret societies have a complex history involving overlap, conflict, and mutual influence, because it's a power struggle. It's a money struggle. How can I get this in order to achieve that? Okay. This is the last video I'm gonna play today. Let me see if I should play this, because this might be a little long. I'm gonna continue. Let me see. Hold on.
Let me see for next time.
Yeah, I'm gonna save it for next time. Let me see how long this video is. Okay, we'll save this one for next time. I'm gonna stop here, because I had some more interesting things I wanted to play, but it's all interesting. All right. So we'll stop here today, because there's so much to go through and I don't want to rush. Let me go to the next slide. Let's end on this slide here. Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 14.
For Elohim shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Hallelujah. We're going to stop here at this one. So let me go back up. I hope we have learned some things about the secret societies and the royal families. Let me do this. The royal families. Let me go here. Thumbnails. Okay. Let's come out of here a minute. Yeah, the royal families, and going back all the way to how these fallen angels all came about from the beginning, being kicked out of heaven. All the evidences there, Mishpachah, is just about putting it together and understanding the bigger picture. I always like to look at it as you looking down at an ant hill. From the ground perspective, when you get down to the ground, you won't notice it. But when you stand up, you can see the whole aerial view of where each ant have their hill and what they're doing.
Ant hill, huh?
So, Mishpachah, I hope we learned something today. Kingdoms of the world and the empire of darkness. We'll continue a part 2, maybe a part 3, we'll see. But there's a lot of information seeing the hierarchy of the pyramid that the devil has put out, the pyramid scheme of wickedness.
Hallelujah.
So we can see what to stay away from and how we can educate our children and prepare ourselves for our Messiah coming back, that we won't be caught off guard when the beast system opens its doors. Okay? So
yeah, it's a huge mess, and we want to thank the Most High for allowing you to take the time out, put that research in, which is so essential, because it helps to pull all the different the labyrinth, help to expose the labyrinth of this world. And yes, brethren, I was looking at the Kerry family. John Kerry is also tied to the Forbes family. Yeah, there's a lot of things that they're all tied to. So thank you, Brother O'Shea, for taking the time out, put together this class. And next week, most high willing, we will continue on. We'll see what else is down this so-called rabbit hole or the holes. I hope that everyone has learned something tonight. And thank you all for being patient with us as we travel on this road to Zion together. Hallelujah. With that said, we're going to close up today, and we'll ask Doch Moel, since you're here with us still, we'll have you close up with prayer in the name of our King. Hallelujah.
Loving Father, we want to Loving Father, we want to thank you once again to give you thanks and praise. We thank you for the service. Thank you for everything that take place here today. Bless the offering. Bless our hearts and bless the food. Help us to continue to serve thee in the way you want us to. Because I do ask it, Lord, in your wonderful name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Let
The words of our mouth, the meditation of our hearts, be acceptable in your sight.
Oh, yeah, strength. Redeemer. Love you all. Stay strong, stay sharp. Until next time, we say shalom.